And
Hello?
we're live.
Stan Mason.
Oh my god, great job, Starvins.
There we go, Straman.
How sexy do we all look tonight?
Street
Rabbit.
World.
We are live on the internet. Okay, come on.
Can we do
Normal
the whole
speak,
stream like that, please?
please,
We should
Grimmaster.
look. We'll do a special Irma Gerd one shot maybe someday, but
Yes.
for now, let's just try to llama that voice a little bit.
When the rest of the whole roleplay thing is second nature, maybe then we can concentrate on doing the voice for an entire session.
That'd be so meta. Look, someone could roll a character that speaks like that.
Yes. That's it. I'm retconning my character's accent. Done.
Oh, look, you probably shouldn't. But hello, Grim Dawn roleplay. What else do we say? Well, who are we? Roll for Perception, Savage Worlds, Roll20, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter,
Roll
Clickbait,
20.
Justin Bieber,
Buzzwords.
We're also
Skyrim roleplay.
stop it. SEO doesn't work when you're talking to a camera. It's only written and it's only for search engines. God damn it!
If
you put the buzzwords.
Skyrim builds.
Look,
the
so,
ultimate Grim Dawn build, unkillable, 100% ultimate hardcore.
beauty. It's probably
Survival
worth
mode.
mentioning to everyone. We're on Twitter and we're doing live tweets. If you hashtag R4PGD, you'll end up in the bloody stream. Man,
Oh my god,
can't
you're
get
being
more
internet.
awesome.
Keep in
No,
mind,
no,
of
no,
course,
no.
anyone watching on YouTube, don't do that expecting to see your tweet.
Not immediate. Look, if you refresh Twitter, then you'll see it. But
That's true.
and look, we'll see it too if you tweet at Roll for Perception. Look,
We
we're
will
nice.
see it.
We'll-
We just
we'll
won't see
talk
it
to you.
live during this.
It'd be really. I really hope in future times there's that one guy that's like hashtag #PGT. I love you guys so much, and doesn't get a reply. Oh, it'll be so funny.
But seriously, he would get a reply because I'm all over that shit.
That's true. He would. He just wouldn't see it come up in the stream. That's
Yeah, just he watches the whole like 2-hour VOD, just waiting for it. Oh, the API must be so shit.
Awesome.
Oh,
So
sorry.
also welcome to anyone who's coming across from the Grim Dawn forums. We are playing a Grim Dawn role-playing game. We are not actually playing Grim Dawn. So
we're like 50% playing Grim Dawn.
stick around. We're using the Grim Dawn universe and the world of Grim Dawn to play Savage Worlds, which is a really awesome way of getting stuck into any universe. Basically, it's so flexible. You can apply this RPG system to anything. We love Grim Dawn. It's dark and gritty and mysterious, and there's tentacles and magic, and it's awesome. So
I'm pretty sure that Tentacles is like 80% why Jebediah is currently playing.
That's cool. 8 out of 8. Not enough tentacles, mate. Let's do it.
Look, we'll work on that. I haven't GM talk. I don't know quite how powerful you're gonna have to be before you run into tentacles, but we'll make it happen.
Can't we get involved with some scrub tentacles? Scrub TM.
Look, in Grim Dawn, tentacle meta is pretty high level, so
That's true. It is.
you
Just-
need to.
Just quickly to satisfy my own curiosity. Before we move on, does the game proper have tentacles?
It does
Yes.
towards the end, but not like small tentacles, like
hashtag spoiler
room-sized
alert.
octopus, like kraken-sized octopus
You have to
tentacles.
play it properly now.
Final boss, mate. You get crushed by a big tentacle monster. It's pretty gross. And he was really hard pre-final launch. Oh my god.
Those
The-
tentacles.
The beta build of that boss was bullshit. I told the devs and everything. The room size. Look, all right. Look, I'm going on a tangent. Let's get
Llama.
back.
Listen, mate.
But this is the pre-show hype, so it's okay to jabber on a little bit.
Okay.
Let's be fair. But look, I'm probably done jabbering. So if anyone has anything else to say, that's fair enough.
Jibber jab.
Thank you, Stevens. Moving on.
Where's my camera?
Oh
there it
my
is.
gosh. How
So-
do you not know where you're on webcam? Look,
So,
yes.
All right. Let me do you a quick intro. So Kluger here is our Grim Master. He's going to be taking us through the world. We're a couple of players. We're down a player. We have said farewell to our mate James, who is playing with us for a couple of years. He's on to do some other projects. So good luck with your other projects, James. Stevens has stepped in to sort of round out the group. And here we are, second session in story mode in Grim Dawn. I believe where we left off last week was we were wandering around trying to figure out what all of this craziness in Darkvale was happening. Like there's refugees coming through, and there's this church that's popped up out of nowhere, and we're trying to figure out pretty much what this church is doing. Is there any sort of sinister activities that they're getting up to? There's word of missing people and murdered people, and crime is on the rise. And my character Bracho is the old man shaman who's had a vision of a hut by this nearby lake where there is some pretty gruesome bodies, murdered slices of butchery and stuff happening around. So we've gone to basically go check that out and see what's going on.
You pretty much covered it, dude.
Yep.
Do you want a GM? You're pretty good at this.
Oh, look, I'm just trying to like take the pressure off you in terms of like the last week on GDRP.
Well, look, I kind of remember, but yeah, there's a couple things to cover off as well, right? So you guys, I mean, we've kind of flashed forward. Bracho had, I guess, he had visions, I suppose, of some pretty gnarly stuff going on down at the beach by the lake. But we like after the last session we all had a bit of a sort of asynchronous Discord chat about how last session went, and we kind of agreed that the gameplay was maybe a little too on the meta level, not like meta gaming, but like there was too much under the surface, and I wasn't exposing enough as a GM. So just a little bit of retcon here, and instead of purely the vision that's driving the party to check out the beach. Vincent Chambray, the peacekeeper and leader of the guard in Darkvale, had a hunch, we'll say. He suspects something funky was going on with the church and with some happenings down on the beach with all the barrels and all that sort of stuff. And he's asked the party to investigate, simply because he hasn't had the time dealing with all the refugees and other stuff in the town, so he hasn't had the chance to leave. So you guys, the party, have now sort of taken that mission on in the interest of trying to help him out. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool.
He's explicitly asked us to do this for him.
So he's gone, something like, look, I'd really love to check this out myself, but it's impossible right now, all this paperwork, there's so many people coming, I can't really leave my post.
Why doesn't he send some of his other men? He's obviously the captain of the guard.
Resources are just so sparse, right? He's got his guard running around doing everything else possible in town, so he's pretty much out of resources. So when you guys turned up, his old mate Gerard is like, this might be an opportunity to finally to get on this extra bit of investigation I've been meaning to get around to. So he's relied upon you. You've like sprung up at the 11th hour to give him a hand.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Cool. So that's, I guess, where we're at. So you three, I suppose Joe has mysteriously disappeared. We won't really, that's James's character. He'll just sort of fade into the backdrop for now. So the three of you, upon talking to Vincent, I suppose have headed directly down to the beach. And aided by Bracho's visions, you have a pretty good idea of where it is you need to go. And it's not too far of a walk once you get down sort of the cliff face, which has like a winding path that takes you down. It's maybe another 5-minute walk or so until you arrive at the proposed destination. So I guess there's nothing really else to do in between. So I mean, you can pinpoint the hut itself fairly easily.
What time of day is it?
I'd say it's probably like late morning by now, maybe just before noon, 11 o'clock, in that sort of ballpark. So the sun's starting to get in the sky. The mist that's come down from the mountains is starting to dissipate. Maybe just a few little tendrils creeping on top of the lake as you guys make your way across down the beach. And it's fairly nondescript. It's probably like the oldest hut. They're kind of dotted around the coast, for lack of a better term, as you walk around. There's not heaps of them, but this one's fairly nondescript. But it just looks old. It's pretty beaten down. The wood's kind of gone that gnarly grey color that it sort of develops with age. Faded, kind of, let's say green painted roof, and nothing else really stands out about it. It's just this old looking shack, but it is padlocked shut. It's got one of those like crazy oversized padlocks on the front door, clicked shut, presumably needing a key for you guys to get in. So, you know, you're probably like 20, 30 meters from the hut as you approach, and what do you make of it?
Cool. Well, can I do a... Oh, okay, so Bracho is old shaman guy. He's used to sensing things about his environment. He's really in tune with nature and the environment stuff. He's really old as well, so he's got this eye for detail and this eye for perception, if you would allow me to go that far. So I think he's going to do a scan around the area. So the hut, we found the hut, it's locked, there's no obvious activity, so he's going to be like looking around, I guess, the visible perimeter of the area. He'll be looking at the edge of the woods, he'll be looking at the edge of the lake, he'll be looking at any paths or footpaths for any sign of activity, so whether that means animals or humans or unknowns, he'll be trying to look for that. Now I believe he also has tracking abilities, so whether or not that gives me any favor, but he's kind of just looking to sort of sense if there's been any very recent activity in the last couple of hours.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Sounds like you should maybe roll for something.
I can probably do that. Let me...
Perception, maybe?
I mean, there's kind of the obvious stuff, I suppose, if that's what you're angling at.
Well, I guess like I'm trying to see if he notices anything that isn't just blatantly obvious, right?
Sure.
So so do I have a modifier? So on that roll,
What were you thinking of rolling?
notice.
Notice? Yeah, you can roll that. Doing a quick search. I think a flat notice roll in this case. Oh, you're a D10 in it as well, so you're pretty good. I would say, yeah, just roll it flat.
I think I'm on edge as well because the vision that I've had and the brutality that I've seen in the vision,
Yep.
as well, would probably have me on edge, thinking like there's something nasty around here. Like I gotta, so he's looking for signs of that sort of stuff. So just rolled.
Steve, are we on the right screen?
You will be in a moment. My mistake.
So for anyone following along, that was a 16.
16.
And general target's 4, so you aced that like a million times, basically.
Wow. Okay, so I got about 4 raises on that.
Yeah, it's like uber crit success.
Well, in terms of Savage Worlds mechanics, if you beat the target by the same target value, so if you hit 8, 4. That's 1 raise. If you hit 12, that's 2 raises.
So it's triple raise, yeah.
Triple raise. Holy shit balls. So I must find something cool. Show me to describe it.
Look, just about. I mean, do you have... it's at the point where, like, you can just pretty much ask a question, like, directly to me, and I'll tell you what you see in the environment. If you want to go down that path, or...
What a roll, by the way. Holy shit.
I mean, it's at that point where, like, you can just be pretty much like, I want to know this about the area.
Well, I kind of told you I want to know if there's animals, monsters, or humans in sense of activity, either by the lake or by the woodlands or by any paths. Like, what's the movement look like? Is there any signs of, I guess, I mean, sand people travel in a single file, but maybe these people aren't as intelligent as them.
Well, look, footprints in of themselves are kind of indistinguishable down this area, because, I mean, there is a decent amount of foot traffic up and back. I mean, with that much of a success, though, I mean, you probably fairly easily notice, that there's specific footpaths that have gone to and from this specific hut, and they're probably, like, obvious, like they're worn in almost, I suppose. If we imagine it kind of like a gravelly / sandy kind of composition on the floor, like there's real obvious footpaths coming back and forth from this hut quite a bit. But then you probably also notice amongst the tracks, there is distinctly not footprints that accompany those footprints, and it looks kind of like a big heavy thing has been dragged alongside those footprints and has made like a big fat wide indentation that leads to the hut as well. So there is something that's been taken to this hut that's big and heavy and was unable to move itself into the hut.
Okay. Is there any signs that there's like danger afoot? Is there any signs of weapons use, or like is there any refuse of any kind that indicates that, you know, there's bad shit?
What could look definitely, but I'm just trying to decide what they might be. Like maybe there's like those same barrels that you saw, or that were described to you as like being real suspect. Maybe you see those. Geez, I don't even know. Like a weapons belt left outside. You know, just something really dumb that shouldn't be there. That tips you off that like unsavory characters have come to and from this location a few times. I'm still trying to find this dang page from before, so sorry, I'm a little bit
That's all right.
distracted right now.
Is there any blood at the scene? I guess that's my third raise question, if that makes sense.
That's actually probably a really good way to do it. If there's like 2 raises or more, like you can ask that many questions about the scene. That's actually really cool. Anyway, sure, why not? Since you destroyed the roll, there's probably like little, like on the bottom edges of the door where it would close, they've probably like, ostensibly if it's a human body or beast of some sort, has been like dragged and the door was closing on it as it dragged. So there's like
some smeared
blood smear like on the inside.
Like beneath shin level.
Yeah, exactly. Like just in like that bottom corner of the door. That's kind of you get the idea. So yeah, there's obviously something, you don't know what, but something either dead or bleeding has been taken into this hut.
So Bracho turns to the other guys and just like flicks one of them in the arm, and then taps it. Ooh,
that autofocus.
Taps one of them, and then like. So he's pointing to the door where there's a blood smear, which might not be necessarily completely obvious, right? Because I just raised.
Yeah, it's probably like a bit dark and like it's probably baked in with the sun. It almost looks like paint, but Bracho can tell with his superior notice skills what's going on.
Jebediah tries the door.
You mean the one with the giant heavy padlock?
Yeah, but you know, no stone left unturned. What if someone forgot to lock it? Hello?
So, sure. Well, look, as you approach the door, I mean, it's fairly obvious to you that the padlock is probably locked. But as you reach your hand out to like just try and give it that shake, you get a bit of a funny feeling, like your occultist sense is tingling. So, if I check your character sheet correctly, you should have Knowledge Arcana or something to that effect. Yes. Can you give me a Knowledge Arcana roll?
I can do whatever you want, buddy. Okay, so this is a new system to me.
So
no modifier, is that what we're doing?
Look, I kind of roll it at -2 because the people who cast this spell aren't plebs.
Give it away now.
No, it could be anyone. It could be a lawful good wizard who's just really good at wards. Just saying.
Yeah.
But look, that's an 8, so that's with a raise.
Holy shit.
So
let me get this right. Savage Worlds lets you win all the time.
Well,
That's basically what's going on.
Savage Worlds is kind of like really extreme to either end, right? Like you guys are the heroes of the story, so stuff you're good at, you're supposed to be real good at. And like, yeah, look, we're doing accomplishment things. But if you look through your character sheets, there's a shitload of stuff that you're not trained in. So for example, if this wasn't a warded hut and you want to try pick the lock, I'm pretty sure you all will have untrained D4.
Yeah, we're all screwed if we need to do that.
Yeah, and so you roll a D4 by default with a -2 modifier to beat a D4.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
I just want to point out that I have a D12 in Knowledge Arcana.
Look, even with a -2, you'd be pretty unlucky to fail that. So, yeah, I'll let you describe it a little bit, but basically, as you reach your hand out, before you've touched the door itself, which would have triggered this, you feel this, you sense that this hut has been warded with some kind of like detection spell, for lack of a better term. So, if you had touched the building, someone would have known that you were here to be doing things. So I don't know what Jeb looks like once he actually senses that spell.
I imagine it's like some sort of. What's really odd is I know the sensation, like I felt it before, but I'm not sure if anything exists that provides a sensation. Yeah, it's almost like I've touched a field of, like a force field that's not a force field.
Yeah.
You know, like I can go through it, obviously, because I can touch the door.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely like resistance there. There's something going on.
Yeah.
Like when you get magnets that are repelling, it's like whoa.
Yeah.
Totally.
But it's your hand instead.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh, that gives me shivers.
And
it's
is
like
your
shit.
is your reaction to the magic like palpable and visible to the other two, or?
Oh yeah, look.
Is there like arcs of energy, like
No,
shooting
let's
between
not
your
get, let's
fingertips
not
and the
get
door?
crazy here. We don't need to be.
Does your raven just pop up and all cranky like going?
Ah, dog. The raven's on a mind control. You just quiet down there, Lauren.
Lauren.
It's the raven's name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look, you know what? Let's say I stagger back a little bit. Nothing too melodramatic, but just like, oh shit, didn't really expect that. There's definitely some sort of force there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And do you mention it beyond your reaction as well?
I was just about to say, do I understand fully that it is, what'd you say, a detection ward or something like that?
Yeah, you understand it exactly as that, like an alarm, essentially. Right. So yeah, if you were to go in, there'd be something telling someone that you are at this hut right now, this very second.
All right, then Jebediah will turn to the group and say, "They know we're here."
That's not ominous at all.
No.
Okay. So while Jebediah is like approaching the door to get a closer look, all right? Because I was just thinking we started off at like 30 feet away.
Yep.
Gerard, what's your like instincts here, like when approaching a potential, criminal hut?
It was very similar to Bracho, but just taking a different approach, as opposed to having that sort of really in touch with the environment and surroundings and things like that. It more would have been from a trained eye perspective, looking for things that shouldn't be there. Like obviously the big giant padlock is something that normally you wouldn't expect to be there, so that would have been obviously tick box number 1 to go search for other things. So he would have seen the same tracks that Bracho noticed. He may or may not have seen the blood on the door, depending on how closely he got.
And he didn't, because he didn't roll the triple ace, bro.
That's true. He didn't.
This guy. He was throbbing 16 roll.
But yeah,
But I've drawn your attention to it. I've pointed it out.
Yeah,
you're like, oh,
yeah, exactly,
that
yeah.
is blood.
Yeah. And I imagine he would have gone up to the tracks and tried to work out roughly how old they were.
Like crouches down and
licks his finger and wipes it on the dirt and goes, licks it again, goes, someone needs more fibre in their diet. No.
Nasty.
Nah, well, he would have done something along those lines at the very least. And he would have potentially been able to decide how long it's been, but it's unlikely.
I mean, if
it's
you're really
too old.
If you're determined to know, I mean, you also have notice, or you have survival, which would almost be pertinent in this case.
It's probably more survival because tracking is.
Well, tracking's a thing. Tracking is tracking.
Oh, that's true. Tracking is an
I'm
actual
just
thing, isn't
reading
it?
survival. Character man word of the day. Survival's quite literal in its
Okay.
meaning. So it's literally, if you're in the wild, like things you would need to do to survive. So
Yeah. Okay.
you could just roll your notice, flat notice if you like, if you really want to
Okey-dokey.
know that information.
Let me do some crazy production.
Yes.
Produce this.
So modifier 0, correct?
Yep.
Aw.
Oh, we got a fail. Oh, wow, that's a thing. I don't have to invent shit now. Awesome. So yeah, like you
So-
look real close and you crouch down. Yeah, go on if you want to.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I would have just said, crouch down and just said, I can't tell what's going on here. There's too many things
It could be too many things.
interfering with
Yeah.
the natural soil or
and on a
whatever's meant to
3,
be around the thing.
it's not a terrible fail. So but you probably ballpark it from 3 days to 2 months. So it's not super helpful.
So basically, I was actually going to say, it isn't that recent.
Yeah.
It's all I can narrow it down to.
Right. Fair enough. So yeah, you guys know that this building's watered, but you've kind of got the jump in a way because you haven't triggered it yet. Jeb, from the roll, you sense that it hasn't sort of gone off, as it were. No alarm bells have been rung.
Okay, so I was careful.
Yeah. So before you touched it, and you with your detect, understood that it's upon touch that you'll trigger this ward. So you guys have the jump, so you could set a trap of some sort if you wanted to, or try to be really quick and bust in the side with brute force, and then try get away before anyone arrives.
Okay,
have
so
some options.
I have a question.
Yep.
Well, I guess Bracho isn't a confrontational kind of guy, old dude with dreads, bit weird. So he's actually going to stay at that 30, 40 foot distance.
Yep.
He's going to start to do a lap around to get a sense of the hut, how large it is, if there's any other entrances and stuff like that.
Yep.
So, I don't think it's necessarily a roll. He's just going for a bit of a walk and a scoping it out.
Yeah, sure.
While these guys are, getting a bit closer and having a look at things.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not.
Reds. No demon, no cry. Am I right?
Yeah.
So, look, it's
Ja
not
Cthulhu Farai.
this guy. Look, it's not particularly large. It's a fishing hut, right? So it just needs to store maybe a little dinghy and some fishing rods, that kind of stuff. So it's maybe 3 or 4 meters wide on the front and probably goes back 5 or 6 meters. It's not huge. It doesn't need to be. It's kind of tallish, I guess. Maybe 12 foot at the peak of the steepled little roof. And there's no other door that you can see, but there's a small window up the top, out the back, that would let a bit of light through as needed. They're kind of pitched fairly high in the roof, in the building. And then around, you've kind of, if you're looking at the hut, the cliff face and Darkvale is kind of directly behind it, so it goes back up. You can see Darkvale behind this hut if you were to look back up the hill, if that makes sense. And then it kind of tapers off and around, and it goes down and around the back of the building. Around, there's some big chunkier rocks that could probably hide a human-sized person, and some trees here and there, sort of just scattered around.
Sorry, what could hide a human-sized person?
Big boulders of
Human-sized
rocks.
person.
That are tucked around, in clusters along the beach, and the odd tree here or there, a big willow or something, maybe 15, 20 feet from the hut as well. So.
Okay, so Bracho would continue around to the rocks, because obviously the rocks are obfuscating, things between them and stuff like that. So he'd get down and he'd be on his guard.
Yep.
But he would be sort of just having a bit of a peek around through the rocks as well, just to see if there's any evidence of activity or anything stashed down there. Like people can piff, some dismembered limbs or something, I don't know, or maybe there's a boat that's tied up behind them or something, I'm not sure.
Sure.
Well, I would imagine that we're all on our guard, wouldn't we? After what we've seen and after Jebediah's reaction to the door.
I'd imagine everyone's fairly on point. Yeah.
Oh, I'm just clearly calling out that.
Yeah.
he's
Okay. Cool.
on guard. That's all.
Yeah.
I just wanted to point out that Bracho may be on his guard, but I'm not sitting there sitting on a deck chair with my feet lazing around. That's all. Just wanted to make sure that was clear.
Cool.
Sure. Yeah. So Jeb, Gerard. Any thoughts as to how you might tackle this? There's brute force methods and riskier ones.
Well, I personally wouldn't go brute force method right now because I don't have any of my stuff with me. I'm just in street casual clothes, and I didn't bring my army reserve stuff with me, basically,
Look,
because I wasn't expecting this trouble.
TBH, I'd be happy to retcon that you've got something with you.
Well, being a combat specialist in the Darkvale army, or whatever we decided Darkvale had, he can probably just pick up a large branch and use that as sort of a staff with perhaps a slight what's the word I'm looking for? Doesn't matter.
A point on the end, maybe?
Yeah, something like
dangerous?
that. I don't know. Yeah, so he could probably use that as a hitting stick at the very least, or a piece of something to block other hand-to-hand combat weapons. But that being said, hand-to-hand combat itself he's probably also useful in.
Sorry, so are you saying that you don't have any weapons on you?
Yes, because you met me in a shop.
Surely we could retcon that a little bit to say that we picked some stuff up on the way to the hut or something.
I'd at least say, like, even though you're like, because you're an army guy, right? So you'd kind of feel weird
Yeah.
not going around with at least like a sword or a gun tied to your belt or something like that. Because
Well,
it just comforts you.
Gerard would certainly have sword in that case.
Cool, that's good.
Okay.
You may or may not like kind of require one.
Yeah, alright. Okay.
Nah, look, but no, just to have, just because shit could hit the fan. Who knows?
Okay. Well, regardless of weapon or no weapon, I think I'd still be hesitant to just go barging in,
Sure.
considering Jebediah's reaction from earlier.
Fair enough. Well, Jeb, do you have any thoughts about how you might tackle getting through this ward, or if you just kind of risk it? Maybe you just trigger it and then ambush. Like, you'd have some options, I guess, be running through your mind.
Is there some sort of spell that is directly counter detection ward?
Maybe, but your character probably wouldn't know it anyway.
Okay.
Would he know?
But you,
What spells does your character know? You should have chosen them in character gen.
yeah,
shouldn't
they
you?
should have. They should be on your character sheet. You've got
Oh,
summon
okay.
ally, fear, or you
Yeah.
actually kind of rolled your spell, detect or conceal arcana. So you actually did a thing that you can do anyway. So that's kind of cool. That was actually an accident, but so there you go. I mean, so look, you have some skill in this area. I mean, are you thinking? Like, just completely bypass try to bypass the ward, like
Look, it seems like I
nullify
can't.
it. You could try. It'd probably be a hard roll, but I could let you try.
I think maybe, look, I think our best course of action here, if we can talk strat for a moment.
Yeah,
Let's talk table talk.
That's the idea.
Look, we know the ward is there. We haven't triggered it because I'm fucking amazing. So we can basically set up a trap for the guys who set up a trap.
That is certainly viable.
Why not?
we
do it.
Okay,
we could
can't we
attempt
just
to.
can't we just stand back and trigger the ward with some ranged weaponry?
Or like maybe a raven.
I have a single ranged spell.
You could do it any number of badass ways.
We could do
Look,
both at the
look,
same
you could-
time. It
We
could
could
be
throw
like
a rock. It'd be fine.
I was going to say you can do something very mundane. You could even do like the teenage doorbell prank where you run up and touch it and then go and run away.
what if it's like contact like damage and shit? Fuck that.
Well, look, I'm just saying.
I was kind of imagining Bracho and Jebediah sort of having a bit of a verbal stoush between the two of them, deciding which spell is better, and Gerard just picks up a rock and throws it through the window.
Look, the viewer in me would ask you to roleplay that, but it's not.
I think he just did.
Well, look, you could roleplay if you want, like briefly roleplay, sort of hatching this plan, like how you're going to set this trap.
Look, as much as I love that, I think we did have a recent discussion about when to roleplay and when not to,
Yeah.
Yes.
in the interest of moving things along.
So this would be pertinent in terms of you're figuring out how you're going to do this. So
Okay, fair enough.
if you want to do that in character, that's totally fine because you'd have to talk about it at a meta level anyway. So
What does small radius mean in terms of distance?
you've got to ask the hard questions, don't you? I think it rolls because we're not using a tabletop. It hits like one I think it's 1d4 or 1d6 enemies around where you cast it.
Alright. So it's an area of effect, but it's a small area of effect.
Correct.
Okay. Alright, so Bracho like comes back around to where I guess, you know, you guys are sort of taking another step back from the hut. And he would be like, you know, I wouldn't have seen, Bracho wouldn't have seen the Jebediah's interaction with the ward. And so he turns to them and says, "Shall we go in?"
Maybe no. Not without planning this out. Jebediah?
Sorry, I'm a little bit confused. Didn't I tell you about the ward?
He did mention the ward to you guys.
But okay, so I don't know. I'm a bit confused as well because Bracho was going for a walk to like scope the perimeter, so he wouldn't have been there when.
Yeah,
that was
so
after the ward, though.
No, it was while you were doing all of that stuff.
Okay, well there you go. So Bracho's not quite sure.
Yeah.
Bracho,
So I've
He's an
said
elderly guy. He's
Okay.
confused.
I've given Jebediah a prompt to explain what's going on because I don't fully understand it.
there's a detection ward here. You missed my dramatic awesomeness. All right, when I turned around and said, you know, they know we're here. It was like there would have been an ad break after that. That's how cool it was. But there, yeah. Basically, we have an opportunity to spring a trap here.
Okay.
Do you know what sort of damage this ward is going to do?
Do I? Spurmaster?
Yeah.
I mean, Game Master?
Grandmaster. Oh, there you go.
Grandmaster.
Small burst does affects 1d3 foes. Sorry, I had to find that. It was driving me nuts.
That was in answer to my question, not in answer to
Yeah,
Rick's
that's
question.
answered in answer to your question about radius damage. Yes, you don't think it will damage you. You're fairly certain that you'll be okay. It was just a detection ward, not like a destroy you ward.
All right, I relay that, as
Cool.
you know, to avoid sounding like the woman on the spaceship bridge that just repeats the computer.
It's probably not. You rolled with one raise, so you knew you didn't trigger it, but you don't, like, you're 80% sure you're not going to get hurt.
Okay. Look, I'm pretty sure.
I say we trigger it from back here and wait for them to come out, and then we pounce on them. Assuming there's them. We don't even know how many there are. What if they come out and they've got, you know, heavy spell weapons, or what if they've got like multiple arms and they're some creatures from beyond the nether regions?
Or maybe no one's home.
Well,
Maybe.
if there's a detection ward, it's got to be sending someone a message. I say we hide behind those boulders, and because you know, human-sized people can hide behind them.
Yes.
And
Yep.
Human-sized people hide behind the rock. It's good.
and then
I have to make my
and
hints.
we kind of get ready to pounce, and I don't know. That's my 2 cents.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah, I'm happy with that plan.
All right. So yeah, you've got the rocks, and they're kind of like on the opposite side to where you approach the hut. So they have to come down the path that you took, whoever they might be, and they'll come from the sort of opposite side. So they'll partially be obfuscated by the hut itself, and then you've got the rocks further away for you guys to hide behind. So
Can we see the door from our rock, human-sized rock vantage?
you'll kind of be perpendicular to the side of the hut, but you'll be able to see whoever comes around to the front, if that makes sense. You won't be able to see the door itself, but you'll be able to see whoever's there.
Okay.
Would we see like? Is it like side on? Would we see the door open and like people come out?
Yeah, so the doors would open out, so you'd be able to see them kind of. You'd see those swing out as well, and you could see people come and go. So yes, you'd be able to see that much of it.
Like, so if we kind of like scuttle over towards the boulders and stuff, Bracho would ask Jebediah, would say, "Can Lauren help us?"
We're on the same page, man. I was just about to say, I would like to perch Lauren more or less with a direct view of inside the hut.
And she would be able to speak to you?
Will you allow that?
Oh,
is it
maybe
like-
some like primitive telepathic link, I suppose. Yeah. Where,
Because
like,
I mean, she's not an actual raven, right?
it would be cool if yeah, we can roll
Some
with
sort
that.
of weird spectral summoning.
Like she's
thing.
not going to be like there's 9 guys and they're wearing purple jumpsuits.
Yeah.
But she might be able to project the number 9 back to you.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'm not even expecting a number. I'm just like, she's like, nod, squawk once for yes, squawk twice for no. You know, I'm cool with that.
You're not gonna warg, like your eyes roll back in your head and you can see through your eyes or something
Look,
like
let's
that.
not get crazy.
I totally could have drawn a map. Would that be helpful, or was the picture fairly?
That's right.
Cool.
No,
Cool. All right, so how does this go? I guess you guys all just huddle up behind the rocks, and then you have that little argument about how to trigger this trap, and you kind of just wait from there, or no specifics that you all are thinking.
Yeah, it sounds about right to me. I would certainly already have my sword drawn, so as to not have to make a sound as I draw it later on if something does happen.
Sure.
Do it. That's
But
preparation.
other
Detailed
than that, that's
preparation.
pretty much the only preparation I can think of.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bracho would kind of like tie his dreads up in a spot that means that he can probably move a little faster than usual, but he is elderly and doesn't move very fast.
None of us
Even
do.
even at moving faster than usual, he's still slower than everyone else. So that's happening, and he would also be probably just like chanting a very what seems like a mundane or even arbitrary sort of couple of rhymes under his breath, but that's actually him, I guess, charging up his energy to use a ranged spell.
Cool. Nice. I like it. All right, yeah, so you guys kind of mosey over to the rocks. They're maybe like 20 meters from the hut, so you're still in pretty good visual range, but you're kind of out of the way enough. I suppose you carefully meander over to try not to leave tracks. And then, yeah, you're all poised, and I mean, from the front doors, pretty much from either side of the hut where they'd be able to see you, you should be well covered enough unless someone manages to stand up by accident or something like that. So you huddled. Yeah,
so
go
is let me just get this straight. Is Gerard going to peg a rock? Because I can't peg a pebble.
on.
Well,
Like,
we never seem to have that discussion, but I can peg a rock, yes, and see what happens.
That would work.
I think
Right.
maybe if we're all huddled and the Raven's out and stuff, I'd be like, so how are we going to trigger this?
Gerard, it's time to hurl your improvised projectile. Let's do this, buddy.
Okay, so pick up the most baseball-sized rock I can find and peg it at the house.
Roll a
I think
d8. I'm joking.
It's called Grimball in this world.
Ball.
Oh my god, Grimberg.
My favorite large sporting event.
No, look, you don't have to roll to find a rock. That's fine. And nor do you have to roll to hit a hut from this distance. I mean, you're an army guy. You're still probably in reasonable shape. Look, Bracho might have to roll if he was doing this. So
With a
let's be
minus
glad that
40
you're not.
modifier.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, you loft it and kind of just sails through the air. You hit it sort of square on the side, and you kind of get just maybe for like half a second, you get this like glint that kind of consumes the hut just for a second, just like this.
Almost
And I
like
kinda
we see a
get-
ripple type thing as it
Yeah.
hits. Yeah.
Exactly. Like there's some sort of magical shielding around it.
Who'da thunk it?
So ostensibly the trap is triggered. Jebediah, are you deploying Lauren at any point during this?
Oh, is she not pre-deployed?
She would already be deployed.
So where are you telepathically guiding Lauren to be perched?
I assume there's some sort of tree vaguely opposite the door, in front of the door, you know.
Well, she could perch in the back window, which looks down through. If that makes sense. It'd be dark, but she could see from like the back of the hut through to the front of the hut. So she'd be able to tell when the doors are opened. Or she could land on top of the hut.
So there's nothing like 20, 30 meters away in front
There's
of the door, like a
there's-
tree that she could just go sit on a branch.
Sure, why not? If you want to see from that side, sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
I thought it would be. I thought it'd be more advantageous to see inside, but if you prefer outside, yeah, I'm sure there's a tree maybe on the opposite side.
Hang on, are you telling me that this hut had windows and we didn't look inside?
There was a window, but
It
it's
had
above,
a window
above
that was
head height.
12 feet above us.
Yeah, so not easily accessible. So yeah, you can certainly perch her
Alright.
with view of the door if you wish. Yep.
Yeah, let's do that.
Cool. No problem. I was just trying to find something real quick. Being a GM is hard work, can I tell you?
No, you can't. Actually, you got to roll to be able to tell us.
You can't tell me what to roll.
Isn't it?
I'm just trying to confirm one thing real quick because it's bothering the crap out of me.
Confirm.
Confirm. Look, no, it's fine. We'll figure it out later. Oh, there it is. Okay, I got it. All right, cool. Thanks. All right. So it's a little while. I mean, it's not just like instantaneously people appear, right? It's probably 10, maybe 15 minutes, and then you slowly start to hear the sound of crunch. You know, the sound of boots on pebbles and sand slowly approaching in the distance. Just on the approach. I guess Lauren could probably see by now. And she's probably projecting the number 3 back to your brain, Jebediah. And then shortly thereafter, you see 3 dudes looking fairly nondescript in, like, I guess, sort of black roby sort of things at the front door of the hut. And they start at the front, and then they kind of are starting to, like, look around the edges and just kind of inspect the thing. And, like, one of them pulls at the lock and jiggles at it just to see if it's still secure. And they're kind of temporarily preoccupied with... Yeah?
I throw my swarm spell at them.
Like, immediately?
Yeah. As soon as I
Dang.
see them, as soon as I see these black robed characters, I'm like, this shit's fucked up.
Wow. Dang, you don't even give... I was going to get him to roll notice, but you're onto it, so...
Oh, it's meant to be an ambush. I got the drop.
Definitely. Well, look, because you guys have hidden, I guess this makes you successfully ambush, so you all get a move beforehand. All right, so I guess we're in combat now.
Holy shit! Have we ever done combat ever?
What? Even in our other games, we had that gladiator scene.
Yeah.
In
But that was
original
just-
Nova.
Does this include the
That
evil
was
monkey?
just sex.
Oh yeah, the evil monkey. and
We
the
did do
crystals.
that. Yeah, there was some combat there.
That was
Which,
a
by the
evil-
way, I pictured to be the evil monkey from Family Guy.
With more arms.
Yeah, had more arms. I pictured it more like Primate from Pokemon. But...
Llama.
Yeah, anyway, keep going.
So yeah, I mean, you can cast your spell, dude. I mean, you throw your spell casting at them. So to kick this combat sequence off, you'd roll your spell casting that you have, and just roll that flat.
I click.
Just click
I
the
don't-
button. No modifiers.
It's not
Are you
doing
within-
anything.
Are you
I have
within
to-
range? I don't know if it has a specific range.
Hang
You're
on a
probably
sec.
fine.
Let's just say it's all cool. Okay, so boom. All right, hit the thing. No modifiers. Flat.
Flat modifier. Yeah, flat.
Cool.
I know words.
I think it says 2, so I think that means it's a cost of 2 as well.
Yeah,
in
it'll be
terms
2
of-
power points. I believe so. Yeah. Oh bang!
Oh, bang.
So that means you.
I got damage here is 2d4.
Yep, and you'll get an extra d6 on damage because you rolled on a. Wait, no, hang on. You got to roll against something. This is why I made that cool chart
chart.
of flowing things.
Awesome.
We're
We're learning.
Wait, no, actually, no. I don't think you do because you are
Ambushed.
playing from ranged. So let me double check. Ranged attacks, which counts magic as well. That's all fine. Even at a -2 for medium range, you would hit, which is all good. You still hit with a raise, in fact. No, so you're just shooting. So you hit. That's all good. So now you can roll damage, which is also on your character sheet.
Yep, I got that 2d4. But in terms of small radius, do you want me to roll a 1d3 to see?
Either way, I mean, yeah, I guess. But you're gonna hit at least one target, right? So we do need the damage. But if you prefer to do that first, yeah, you can hit a 1d3.
Well, I'm just curious. What does the raise on the to hit do?
So you get an extra So you got 2d4 damage. Because you rolled with a raise on your attack spell, you get an extra d6 damage on top of your 2d4.
Okay, so to roll damage.
Yeah, I'll take you through the macro. So,
Okay.
so click on range damage.
Where? Oh, quick macros.
Quick macros, range damage.
Yep.
So number of dice will be 2.
Yep.
Weapon die size 4.
Yep.
Modifier should just be 0, and then it'll say raise on attack roll.
1.
So you put a 1 in. Yep.
Cool.
Hit him for
So-
9. Yep.
Let's narrate this a little bit as well, because we've been very.
Absolutely.
Blah, blah, blah. So Bracho's spell is called the Devouring Swarm, and it's actually pulled out of the Grim Dawn spellbook. So, not actually having played that much Grim Dawn and knowing what that spell actually looks like, I'm assuming it is a devouring swarm of like elemental style wasps or something.
Yep.
Pretty close. Yeah.
Awesome. And they're all kind of like wispy and kind of like smoky traily, but not quite real, but real.
Oh, they're very real. They'll mess
They
some
hurt.
shit up.
Awesome.
Totes. Cool.
Alright.
Yes, and they probably hear it like coming like this, but it's too late by the time they hear it. Just is like approaching them from behind. And yeah, roll your d3 now to see how many of these targets you affect. Dang, that's harsh.
I rolled
Yeah.
a 1.
You rolled a 1. So one target will now become shaken. So the way damage works is the enemy doesn't take 9 damage. Like there's not a HP bar in Savage Worlds. There's like there's statuses of damage, and then there's just wounds basically. So if you successfully roll damage, which is rolled against the enemy's toughness, which in this case is success, they become shaken. So, and in fact, is that a 9 over what are their like? Let me see their toughnesses. That guy's pretty tough, so he wouldn't die. That's boring. No, I'm gonna roll d3 to decide who this hits. All right, because you might kill one of them if you hit the right one. 3. Okay, so no, you don't kill this guy. But he now will become shaken in game, which means basically like you hurt him real bad. Now he's messed up and off balance, and he's not in a good way. So like these locusts have maybe like there's little cuts and like bits missing, and like parts of his clothes have like pulled loose, and he
Wasps.
looks.
I'm not going down the local.
Wasp. Sorry. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean it. Okay.
Cool.
Yes. So because you guys have, I'm pretty sure the way stealth works is that you all get a chance to attack, and then we go into initiative.
Yeah.
So surprise combat often starts before everyone involved is prepared. When this happens, the side that started the fight is not dealt cards, but begins the fight on hold, which means you can act anytime. So Jebediah and Gerard, you both have like a free action before we have to enter initiative.
Yep.
So
Okay.
in
Well-
either order that you want to do things.
Well, I would assume Jebediah would go next because I need to run and get within melee combat range to do anything.
Well, you can kind of imagine it all happening simultaneously.
Yeah.
Okay.
I better shoot off my revolver before you do anything. I don't want to hit.
It would be
Well, you
preferred
can-
to not get shot in the back.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so do I roll shooting?
Yeah, exactly that. You roll shooting. And now distance we are at about 20 meters. So
Yeah.
that puts you at medium range. So you need to roll at -2.
You're gonna fail.
Look, mate, just playing by the rules here.
I don't care for your rules.
No, man, you got it. You got it with a raise too. So
What the shit?
Solid.
because you're a wild card, so you've got an extra d6 alongside that, and the d6 is actually, if you mouse over it, near the end of it, you roll a 1 on your shooting dice, but your wild card dice rolled a 6 and then aced, and that gave you your 10, which then 10 -2. Anyway, so you do a good thing. So are you aiming at one in particular, or like you just shooting into the pack and hoping to pick one off?
Look, you know, as cultists, we all look the goddamn same.
Okay.
So,
Yep.
you know, it's considering that we can't actually distinguish between them, I guess I shoot just one of them, just a guy.
Yep. This is okay with me.
Would Jeb, would your occultist knowledge somehow be able to differentiate between the few? I don't know.
They're kind of like all dressed the same right now. They've got robes on and stuff, so they kind of look
But
like...
surely the boss
members of a
guy's
cult.
got like a red fucking necklace.
Oh,
or
look, the
something
guy who got
like
hit by wasps is obviously standing out. Yeah,
But
so
look,
look, you could target
unless-
him if...
Unless I see them and I go, Gary, how did you pull up after last week's, occultist meeting? I can't imagine I'd be able to tell them apart.
True. All right. Look, it's okay. I mean, you still might even hit the same guy as Bracho did. So, so still on your character sheet, it's the same drill. You want to roll range damage.
which is up the top
Mm-hmm.
in the three columns of attributes, derived stats, and quick macros.
Yep.
It's about midway down range damage.
Number of weapon dice.
So I think it's 2 for your gun, 2d6. I'm just checking now. Yeah, ornate revolver. I'm pretty sure that's 2d6 plus 1. So die number or whatever it says, you put in 6.
Okay. Oh, 6, right.
And then does it got a modifier as well?
Wait a second. I'm still on number of weapon dice.
Oh, so number of weapon dice 2?
Oh, okay. And then it goes on. I gotcha.
Yeah. So enter that.
Weapon
and it should
dice
say
size 6.
6.
All very step by step. It's confusing me. All right, now we're on to the modifier.
I'm just double checking. You have an ornate revolver apparently, and that.
It's
Wait,
my
did-
favorite weapon.
Where'd you pull that from? Ornate revolver. Did you invent that?
Just a revolver. The ornate part doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's 2d6. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, 2d6 plus 1. So modifier of 1.
I love it. Raise on attack roll.
You
1.
put a 1 in there. Yes.
Geez, that was a process.
Oh,
Holy shit.
damn!
Holy Christ.
Nice. So you've definitely messed someone up. So I'm gonna do the same thing I did for Ash. I've got the sorry, for Bracho. I've got the character sheets for the bad guys in an order here. So /RD3. Okay, so you hit that guy. Oh, you hit the cool one.
Oh, hopefully you murdered him. Fucking hell, look at that damage.
I'm checking his
17.
toughness right now.
So if the
tou-
damage exceeds the toughness, he's just flat. He's just killed.
It's the same. It's the same idea as a raise. So if you just go over their target toughness by less than 4, it's a normal hit. And then if you go over more than that, then starts to inflict wounds. So I'm pretty sure this guy's dead. Cause you hit him pretty hard. So applying damage, success, character is shaken. If he was already shaken, raise, the character suffers a wound. Yeah. So one of these guys takes a bullet from your revolver, probably staggers back a few times, and then just falls back stone dead on the beach. He's dead as. Does Jebediah do anything that looks particularly epic?
My guess is
No,
that he
he's just
taunts.
like, you know what? Fuck it.
Oh, he blows the gun smoke.
You had to do that, dude.
It's a revolver. It's mandatory.
All right. At least he didn't say what again? What again? I dare you.
No, wrong genre.
Okay.
All right. So now we're up to you, Mr. Gerard.
Yes. So, would I have time to realize that to have been hit by my compatriots' attacks? Because if so, I would probably go for the one that is still standing.
Now, the only issue you might have is that at this distance, you're out of melee range after your normal move. Going to check what your movement speed is.
Not ideal.
It's 4. Holy shit! So that means you can move 8 meters, and you're about
20
we'll
away.
say you're about 20 away. Yeah. So you can use both your move and attack action this round to get within movement range next round. Does that make sense?
Or you
Yes.
hold
Or
off and wait until they run over. I don't know.
Yeah.
Basically, to go XCOM style, he's making a dash. So
You
that
could-
next
you could
turn,
dash, you could
he can
absorb-
make a move, then shoot.
yeah, that. Wow.
Or you could just
Swing.
move once and see what they do as well.
Yeah, I would probably do that in that case.
All right, cool. So yeah, you spring up from behind the rocks and you feel like you're running 100 miles an hour, right? But in reality, like we're over your shoulder, we can hear you panting, and like you're gunning it. But then we pan out and you're like just really slowly moving across the camera because you're not actually super fast right now.
I have a leg injury.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, cool. And that's the end of the stealth round.
So hang on, are all three of us gimped as fuck right now?
You all have movement.
Yeah, we all have movement debuffs.
This is the worst.
You have a fake leg. I have the leftover of an injury, and Bracho's just an old mother.
The only guy who had normal movement isn't in the party anymore.
That's right, and it didn't matter anyway because
he was ranged anyway. So,
but he was your tank, and no, he wasn't that tank yet. Anyway,
No,
look,
I'm
he's not
the
here
tank.
anymore. Let's move on. So now we can actually get into initiative. I'm going to bring that up. Can you see it, Steve? On the screen?
yes, but move it a little bit more central because it's behind Jebediah's head.
How's that?
I can't see that move. I think I need to move it myself. Yep, there we go. I've moved it.
Cool. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And can you see people have cards right now?
Oh, yeah.
Cool. So ignore those because I haven't actually dealt yet. So
Good.
Savage Worlds initiative works with a deck of 52 cards, including the Jokers. So instead of everyone rolling for initiative every round or to determine the combat order for the entire encounter, at the end of each round, you guys get dealt a card, and then the card determines your place in the initiative round. So it makes it a lot quicker than fiddling around with dice. So let's go. I'm going to deal, and I act for all the bad guys, so my point in the initiative order, as you can see, all the baddies will act under me in that place in the turn order. So here we go. Deal to all turn order items. Oh, dude, I might get first crack. By card suit. Yes, so there we go. So this round, all the baddies go first. Then Gerard, Bracho, and then Jebediah. All right. Sweet as. So let's say, so these two guys, they're in their robes and they're like all weirded out and alarmed as to what's going on. They're pretty freaked out. And they pull their robes down and they've actually got pretty good armor underneath. Like it's nice, pretty well maintained leather with like straps and stuff. And they've got, they're kitted out. They look like they know what they're all about. So the first gentleman pulls a revolver out from his waist belt thingamabob, and he turns to aim at. He's probably going to return fire to you, Jebediah, since you fired at them first. So he's just going to turn around, move a few meters to get in position, maybe crouch down on one knee, and take a pot shot. So he's basically rolling exactly the same as yourself. So he's got to roll range damage, and his range is D8. So this is why I made these macros. Ranged damage extras. Who's attacking? Gunner. I put some fancy stuff in here just to make it a little more interesting.
This guy. Do I get like some sort of bonus?
I'm actually
Because my hitbox is technically smaller as a result of my peg leg.
We can retcon this, but did you stay kind of behind the rocks when you took that shot, or did you run out from behind cover, or?
No, I'm still sort of more or less behind the rock.
Well, you'll be partial cover then, which is a -2 to his roll. So,
just, sorry to derail your thought train, but is there like I suppose there's no parry to a ranged
not for
attack.
range, no.
That said, I do have a spell called Deflection, which seems like a parry for a ranged attack, but maybe I should look it up.
Yeah, you could most definitely look it up. I can't remember how that works off the top of my head, but when you...
I'll have a look.
You can
Sorry,
cast it on your turn.
Keep doing this.
Look, I'm trying.
Have your head.
Look, then you got all up in my grill.
No, that's right. I'll look it up, man. You keep going.
I'm just playing. I was actually checking for rules of cover, but I'm pretty sure it's -2 in this case. So look.
Ooh.
Oh dang! He aced. So he successfully aims at you at least. And he's got his damage.
Is that with the -2? Oh wow.
Good
Yeah,
lord.
he did all right, man.
I'm
He
fucking
shot
dead.
really well. Look,
Play
he
a
might not be,
death.
'cause he has to roll damage.
Rip.
Oh, this isn't including a +1, so that would actually be a 5. I've got to fix that
Okay.
that
Also-
macro. So
Oh,
he,
but-
he rolls 5 damage. Can you check for me what your toughness is?
5. And
So
then 1 armor.
so that's 6 total.
Okay.
So that means it doesn't actually damage you. So he tanks your damage. So you tank his damage.
Mm.
Maybe like it flies past and just like takes a chunk out of your robe or whatever it is that you're wearing. But
Could we play some fancy shit here? Can we say
Yeah.
like Lauren
Go.
Lauren sees it and swoops down and takes the bullet, and it doesn't matter because she can just summon right back?
Look, yeah, for now, but we might need to figure out a weakness for that because that's like super OP.
Oh,
But he's
I mean,
only-
it's just an explanation. So.
Yeah,
I
he's not.
know.
Yeah, he's not OPing anything.
GM can't even joke around here. Like, what is
No,
this?
you can't. You
Listen,
don't get
mate.
that chance, mate.
You
Come
don't.
on.
Once you put on the grim robes, the grim master robes. That's it.
Look, I don't know.
Forevermore.
So yeah, he fails his damage roll, so it doesn't do anything to you. So good job. So now there's another dude, and he is going to come at Gerard because he's within range. So he's gonna run up to meet you, like just in the opposite direction that coming straight towards you basically. And he's going to swing a short sword at your face.
Ouch.
Yep. So
That sounds painful.
yes,
Well, potentially painful.
look, it's a little painful. And you've got no cover. So he successfully swings at you. Great job. 8 out of 8. So, hang it, man. Gotta remember all the names of my friggin' macros. So he's gonna roll. What's his strength? I can't remember what his dang strength is. D8 strength. Now I can't remember. My macro's gone. There it is. D8. Weapon dies is D6, and he didn't raise. But it aced. What's your toughness there, Steve?
7 with
Gerard?
7 with 2 armor.
7 with 2 armor. So 9. Okay. So it's got 1. He gets 1 raise. So this guy messes you up a little bit. So you take.
It's off the other leg.
My parry has nothing here.
No, parry is the target for his. Oh wait, did I mess this up? Hang on. What is your parry?
7 with a mod of +2.
Oh my god, I'm so stupid.
Which
Look, I may. Yeah, so actually he doesn't hit you. You parry the attack. That's my mistake. I apologize. So he swung his sword at you, but he couldn't get the thing happening. So he probably comes like with an overhead slash. How does Gerard kind of deal with that?
overhead slash Gerard. If he so I assume in taking no damage he just deals with it reasonably easily. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Overhead
Yes,
slash,
It looks a lot more fancy than it is.
yeah, so overhead slash he would just bat that away with his sword in there.
Nice.
In such a fashion so that in sort of one movement he winds up for his own attack, I would assume, because I am next. Yeah.
Nice. Get at him. So yeah, it's your turn now, Gerard. So I assume you're going to come back at this guy.
I am. So I would assume that's roll of fighting.
Yes, exactly.
Yep, alright. Modifier.
Nope.
Ooh. Only rolled a
So
4.
okay. Not too good actually.
Yes.
That's to hit, right?
That's to hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he actually is able to parry that. So, how do you come back at the footman after you deflect his attack?
Well, as I said, batting. Sorry, I have to think this through in my head. He'd sort of bat away an overhead attack, and then
Yep.
as he's batted away, he'd come through like that.
Yep.
So
Cool.
sort of like an undercut towards the ribs.
Right, yeah. So he steps inside that swing and kind of with his sword then like kind of bats that back away and like he uses your momentum to kind of push the sword away from his own body. So
Okay.
yeah, you guys are in a bit of a stalemate.
Okay, so this guy either can fight or I'm just having an off day.
Yeah, something like that. So yeah, Bracha, you've got Gerard locked into a sword fight, and you've got the other fella who you hit with your swarm before, who's kind of got himself together insofar that he was able to attack Jebediah, but yeah, he's not looking too good.
Okay. So, in terms of combat rules,
Yep.
do I have to have an action here, or can I? What's this hold thing?
So on hold is that's specifically when you can act anywhere in the turn order. I think hold action is still a thing in initiative, just like a general one. Do you want to not act during this?
Well, I guess what I'm trying to figure out is if I can defer my attack to later or something. I don't know. I'm just trying to. I remember reading something like that in the rules. I'm just trying to figure out how that works.
When you get dealt a Joker, you absolutely can. But I don't think so otherwise. I think otherwise you do need to... Oh, wait, hang on, sorry. A hero may choose to wait until and see what happens by taking a hold action. He may then go later in the round if he chooses. Yeah, so there you go. So you can hold your action till later on if you wish.
Right. So I'll nudge Jeb with my elbow and say, "Do that again."
So yeah, Jebediah, I guess the initiative is swung over to you.
I'm thinking about doing something cheeky here.
Get it, mate. Tell us what you got.
What are the chances? Because I've got a fear spell. Okay. What are the chances of me positioning myself in a way so as to fear one of these guys, and due to our positioning, he feels his best means of escape is unlocking the door and getting inside the hut?
I'm trying to justify why any person out of sheer terror would unlock a door. Though ostensibly, if they're going to be so scared they unlock a door for you, a key is also obtainable off a dead body, so...
Oh! Alright. I get
So look, I appreciate where you were trying to come from with that, but
I'm a
yeah.
problem solver. Okay, so I mean, I guess I'll shoot one of them.
I mean, if you have a look, you could still fear a guy and really mess up his shit, but
What's the as much as I'd love to?
What's the effect of a fear spell?
I think they'll need to make a test to pass it.
But then, like, even if I succeed, it's going to run away, right?
Oh, yeah, well, we can
what I
make it
mean,
up. Maybe he just gets really scared. He doesn't like run away, but he just completely loses the will to fight, and you know.
Okay, then maybe
like,
we can
collapses into a
interrogate him.
heap. Yeah, sure.
Excuse me. I'm going to fear Wasp Boy.
Yep, sure. So I'm just going to read up on the fear skill itself. This power causes the target overwhelming dread and horror. The area or effect is a large burst template. Ooh, interesting. Every creature beneath the template must make a fear check at -2 if the caster got a raise. Okay. Wildcards who fall roll. Okay, cool. So you, I guess, just need to cast your spell casting. It'll cost you 2 points. And yeah, it instantly happens. So
Cost me 2 points.
two power points. It costs 2 power points to cast this spell.
Where do power points live?
There's no spot for them on the sheet, unfortunately.
Okay. Modifiers?
No.
Ooh.
So that looks good. So I'm just trying to check. Because apparently there is a thing called a fear check, and I don't know what it is you're supposed to roll for that. I assume spirit, but...
I was just on the fear page.
Yep.
Here it is.
Here we go. Yeah, I found it too. Page 85. Certain creatures of fear check a spirit roll when they see them. So yeah, so these guys have to roll spirit, and it's in a large area. Unless, I mean, are you like really trying to channel it specifically to this one guy?
Yeah. Let's channel it.
Sure, because it technically could affect. It could even affect Gerard, which could be really interesting. But
Lots.
This is your first encounter. Look, I don't know if we want to go that far just yet. Okay, cool. So these guys. So this guy. So it's the gunner who needs to make a spirit check. Actually, you got it at a raise, so he's even more screwed. So he rolls like a crit fail. So yeah, this guy like just crumples. Like, how do you cast the spell? Does Jeb do anything cool or?
You know what? Let's fucking weave it. Like I'm talking literally as if the air itself becomes tangible, and I'm somehow able to twist it around my arm like fairy floss or cotton candy for those non-Australians.
Yes.
And it's like, and then let it snake at him.
And like, I guess maybe then like because he's seeing this as tangible. It's like this weird alien gunk is on his face. So he's tearing at his eyes and his ears and his mouth. Like he thinks he's getting strangled by this thing, and he just crumples into a mess on the floor. Just like he's freaked out, right? So he's there, and like his face starts to bleed, and like you can't tell which are wasp bites and which are his own fingernails. So like
Dude just got wailed on.
yeah, he's pretty much what's the word I'm looking for here? Not docile, but he's putty.
Fucked up.
He's the proverbial putty in your hands. So well done, very nice job.
Did he play some
so
Barry
what-
White?
It's cool. It's a really cool narrative piece to what happened to him in terms of what the fear spell, how that worked. But what's the meta effect? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I do.
is it a damage? Is it a he doesn't get to play? I think there's
Here we go.
there's a
There's a fright table. Yeah, so he's well freaked out, and so he has to roll d20 to
And then it says add the creature's fear penalty as a positive number to this roll.
he actually would have rolled -1 because he was meant to roll that at a -2. So d20 -1.
No, you turn it to a positive. So d20 plus 1.
Oh, is that worse? Okay, well, should we retcon that to just call it a 3 then? I'll just re-roll it. d20 plus 2. Sorry, plus 1. God dang it.
And the higher it is, the worse it is in fright.
d20 plus 1. Yeah, I feel you. I get it. So 7. So he's shaken. Okay. So he's in a pretty bad way, but he can still
Double
kind of
shaken.
fight. So shaken, the combat status shaken, which basically means he's pretty screwed. Actually, he was already shaken from before, so I think he's dead.
What?
You
I scared
literally scared him to death.
Actually, no, but it wasn't from a physical effect, so he can't actually die. But
Well,
I don't
surely
know
he
how-
can. If I don't know how to interpret these rules, but if you're shaken and you get a shaken effect applied again, that's the second checkbox, right?
though it does stipulate, I'm going to check it now. And sorry, this is so rules heavy. We'll get a
That's all right.
better hang of it as we do this more. So damage, success. The character is shaken. If he was already shaken, he suffers a wound and remains shaken. To cause a wound, the latter shaken result must come from a physical attack of some kind. So I guess I can just double the shaken effect on him, which he actually should have suffered before, but it was of no consequence. So, so he's pretty screwed. He's pretty messed up. He's almost incapacitated, really, at this point in time. But in any event, it's Bracho. I mean, you still have your turn available.
Definitely. And so, seeing as though that's happening, I'm just having a look at my character sheet. Is there anything else I can do that's cool? No is the answer. I want to level up soon, please. I think what I'll do is, in that case, is I will see that. Okay, I'll see this fear spell and I'll be impressed. I'll be like, nice. And also a bit like, what the hell do you do in your spare time? Kind of. But I think I'll recognize that, you know, he's like this is a guy's quivering mess, and is like, all right, I think I have to send another swarm at him to try and put him down.
Sure. Look, pretty much just roll to roll for aim, and if it hits, I think he's just dead because he's so screwed. Like,
Is there a modifier on the roll to hit?
nah, it would just be flat.
not a 1 because he's so shaken. I don't know.
Because he's incapacitated, like, because he's... he kind of had the jump. Look, yeah, I'll give you... All right, sure. You make a point. I'll give you +1. I'm pretty sure you're going to hit anyway, dude. Yeah.
And a raise.
So look, this guy, he just gets consumed by these wasps. Like, look, since you're very particular about your wasps, like, how seriously do they take death? Like...
What do you mean? How do they take death?
Like, this guy's this guy will die from this action. So, like, how dead will they make this guy? Do you know what I mean? Are they like...
Right. Can you imagine what happens when you put your hand in a fishbowl of piranhas?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so look, there's like basically
Nothing left.
semi-eaten corpse.
Oh, I
That's
just imagine
left.
like it's just like the flesh is just like partially eaten.
Yeah,
in
it's
most
just gone,
spots,
yeah.
and there's like, you know, you see bones in some parts, and his face is like half eaten, and it's like all full of pock marks, really, kind of thing.
And it would look really gross as well because he was still armored, so they managed to get through that at certain points, and then there's like this really gruesome like leather bits just hanging off, and it looks really maudlin and disgusting, right? So
Yes.
this guy did not leave planet Can very nicely. He's pretty boned. Cool.
Sweet.
So that's
All right. Wait, and when that happens,
Yeah.
because I've got like a little chant thing that I'm doing, and like kind of like this like it's not I'm not weaving shit. I'm like chanting. I'm channeling this energy of nature and stuff. I'm going like this, and then once he drops down from the swarm, I turn to Jeb and I go like this.
Fucking hell.
Nice. Nice. All
Okay,
right,
so
that brings us to the end.
While you two are in the back there, blowing on things, I'm in this epic hand-to-hand fight to the death with this guy.
I don't know how epic it's going to be anymore, but look, we'll deal new initiative.
I like to think it's pretty epic.
Oops, I got it wrong. So Bracho, you actually rolled top of the order.
Oh, okay.
So you would get to act again.
Okay, so I'm gonna go on hold here and see what happens.
Yep.
I'm just on a tabletop meta level. I have a PowerPoint total of 10.
Yep.
So I'm down to 6 now.
Cool. Perfect. Thank
after
you.
using that twice.
So I'll put you down the bottom here, Bracho, of the turn order. So Gerard, you would, as luck would have it, be next.
Yep.
Nice.
So I believe you said that the guy that I'm fighting sort of used my own momentum to sort of send me missing him.
Yeah, but you guys are like poised fairly equally. I'm sure you've been able to recover, and like you kind of just pointed swords at one another right now.
Well, I was just thinking depending on how okay, pointed swords at each other. Okay, fair enough. So I guess I'll just roll a fighting again here.
Yep, definitely.
0 modifier.
I'm gonna give you a +1 because he's on the verge of fear himself because of what's happened to his mates. So
That's fair. There's no time for witty banter. I can't.
There's always time for witty
there's
banter.
time for a little witty banter over cross swords. Yeah.
I can't just say, "Don't want to end up like your friends, do you?"
Oh, he's going for a submission.
Sounds like it. But look, that's actually a successful attack. So with 1 raise. So good job. So
I did a thing.
Actually, at a tabletop level,
Yes.
I mean,
Would it be worth keeping this one alive?
that's what I'm thinking.
You could stipulate that you're gonna, because you've successfully hit him, you can non-lethally take him out. That's
just
totally
sort
fine.
of feint him and then punch him in the face with the hilt of my rapier?
Or like you could take you take a knee out or something, right? So he's immobile, or you wound him but not grievously. Is that
Or
right?
the old sword, like he stacks to the ground, sword to the throat kind of moment, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
could also work.
And that's just at a narrative level. You can just
Yeah,
say
yeah,
this
yeah.
is a non-lethal blow.
Yeah, I'm
that's
happy to
fine.
make it a non-lethal and work out where we go from there.
Yeah. You just need to roll your damage for that, just to make sure it's actually successful.
Oakley dokley. Now, I believe that's just the melee
The
damage on the
damage,
quick macros.
macro. Yep.
Number of weapon dice.
What is?
It's 1 at the moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
But hang on, did you press the right button? Melee damage.
Yes. I'll do it again.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. So that's just 1.
Yep.
Weapon die size was whatever your rapier's die is.
D4.
Yes, correct. Yep.
Yeah, weapon die size, so it's a 4 as it is. Modifier.
There should be none.
Yeah, right.
Is there a raise on attack roll option as well?
There is
After that?
one. There is an
Yeah,
option.
so put 1 in for that.
Yeah.
And
Whoa.
yeah. So
Wow.
this guy's yours. You can do exactly what you described
Nice.
before. However, you kind of bring him down into submission.
Yep. Okay.
So was it like the whole like maybe you take out a knee and then he buckles down and is kneeling in front of you and then the sword's at his throat?
Yeah. Yeah, I would imagine sort of fainting one way, then essentially taking out. Oh no, I'm in front of him, so I can't hamstring him. Yeah, so basically just taking out a knee.
Yes.
In some fashion, so as to make him immobile.
Yep.
And in the same movement, hitting the sword out of his hand, and then.
Yeah, and that sort of just scuttles away up the beach. It's out of his range.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of just kneeled before you, and yeah, that's the end of the encounter. He's all yours.
Yay!
Awesome. So that's wicked.
Go us! We did it.
Help me dial in combat difficulty. Yay!
Awesome.
You guys trounced that, so I can really crank it up for next time. But
Well,
Shit.
Sure.
they didn't do any damage to you. You've all walked away, not even shaken.
Yeah, but
so-
I nearly died. I nearly got hit on the first hit.
Yeah,
What we want.
Jeb got targeted whilst he was in pretty much full cover.
Yeah.
So,
He's got a rip in his like beautiful leather rig that he's wearing there.
jeez,
Have
no,
to get
I'm
that
so
repaired,
sorry. So what are you guys going to do with this guy? He's just kneeling on the beach, kind of murmuring to himself.
Well,
I've probably got a spiel for him, but go on.
So if I get this right, Gerard and this cultist are about 10 meters away from where we were
Yeah, roughly.
hiding in the boulders.
A
Yeah.
leisurely stroll.
Okay. So can I look around and find like some piece of driftwood that's long enough to use as like a walking stick?
Yeah, sure. No roll required.
Awesome. So I'll scoop one of those up as like I'd had my eye on it for a little while since we've been hiding in the boulders. Like I'll finally like reach down and grab it and I'll start using it as a little walking stick. And I'll head towards these two because it looks like Gerard's in control.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Gerard's kind of like standing over him with a sword at this guy's neck. So
Yeah.
if you're not in control at that point.
I am totally gearing up to do Batman Begins style. Let's make him hallucinate with my fear shit. Swear to me.
Awesome.
okay.
Awesome.
There's no "you failed this city."
No.
And yes, I know that's Arrow, but anyway.
This guy.
God damn it! I really want to find. Anyway, so are you guys going to ask this? Are you going to ask this guy any questions? Like, what's the
Well-
deal? Like,
Does anyone have persuasion or something along those lines? I know I do, but does anyone have better persuasion? What was that, Rick? Jeb?
Intimidation is what I have.
Ooh.
That would probably be more effective against this sort of guy. Unless you want to play the good cop, bad cop, but I don't know if that would really work.
No, let's play bad cop, worst cop.
Well, I did just cut this guy in the knee, so I suppose I'm the bad cop.
Yeah.
And you're the, oh shit, he's coming at me cop.
Oh yeah, because you got that mad hat on and
Yeah.
you're like hiding your eyes, shit. Oh, dude, this is so cinematic.
Guy.
so there's probably like just. It's quite peaceful now that the encounters died down, and there's just like the noise of the water just like sort of gently rocking back and forth. It's quite peaceful if not for the murder that's just happened, right? And there's a couple of birds chirping in the trees, the sun's up, it's like midday. It's really nice and peaceful right now. And then just Jeb's like whoosh, 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 coming across the sand approaching this guy, so it's pretty freaky shit. So you're going to intimidate this fellow?
Yeah, yeah.
Correctly?
With Lauren swooping in and just like taking a
Nice.
peck at his injured leg every now and then.
Yeah. So intimidation is just, I think it's like an opposed roll. Dude, this PDF is ridiculous. It's freaking long as shit.
Get PDFs, bro.
Get your bookmarks fired up.
Bookmark isn't as specific as a specific skill. Anyway, blah, 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 intimidation rolls his spirit. Yeah, so it's a test of will. So just press your intimidation button there, baby.
Hold on. Okay.
No modifier.
No modifier. He has to contest your roll.
Okay.
Ooh. Okay, and he has to roll his spirit.
He isn't going to be spirit.
I actually rolled that wrong, but he still fails. So you intimidate him successfully. How do you do this exactly?
Ooh. I imagine it's some form of of light version of the spell that I used on his body.
Yep.
Oh, you know what? Let's throw like flashes of your childhood at him.
Like
just
creepy, weird swing sets in oversaturated.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
I'm like skeleton children playing behind a chain link fence or something.
Totally. Yeah. Let's just make him regress to womb form and just give it all up.
cool. Yeah. So he screams a little bit, you know, and you know he probably startles a couple of birds sitting in that tree nearby, and he's freaked out. I mean, are you angling for anything specific now that he's now like, whoa, like he's basically putty in your hands for you
Okay.
to.
So table talk. What are we
Yeah,
after?
I was gonna say let's table talk for a sec here, because what do we already know?
Well, do we... Hang on, just... do we know we can get a key from the bodies, or do we not know that yet?
Well, I mean,
You would assume.
Would you
so,
assume
but
that we can?
Look, you don't know for sure.
hello.
Well-
I mean,
Also, if we don't have a key, let's just like break down the wall of the hut with your short sword or something.
Yeah. You
Rapier.
could have been.
Sorry.
Look, you'd have a way in.
yeah,
for
I
sure.
don't think getting into the hut is the problem. I think
No.
maybe we want to know what's in there,
Yeah.
what they've been up to.
I would
Sorry.
say who?
I missed
Okay.
the first part of the question there from you, Jebediah.
What's in there and what are they up to?
What's in there and what are they up to?
Okay,
I'm trying to
so
like,
before we answer the question, I think we're still in table talk land, if that's cool.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
yeah, okay, sure.
So I just wanted to say the things that we know. I just wanted to rehash what we learned. We know that there's a town drunk that went missing.
Mm-hmm.
We know that there are probably people being murdered and being pushed down a hill or into the lake
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In,
So there's
in barrels, I believe.
in barrels, and we've seen barrels here, and
Yep.
we've seen drag marks, we've seen blood.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else that we know about this hut that the captain of the guard told us?
no, he knew very
No.
little about it other than he was suspect of it. Like that's where he thought these
Okay.
barrels might be headed. So
And we don't have any direct link that this guy is, or these people are actually related to Chthon. That's just a circumstantial
yeah,
evidence at the moment. That's to say that there's this kind of dark church that's rising up in Darkvale,
yep.
and there's
Right.
this weird crime activity that's sort of happening at the same time. But you know, it could be many factors. So we
It's-
don't actually know that these guys are Chthon, right?
But it's getting way more and more obvious. I mean, I probably should have mentioned this when they entered, but like they're wearing robes that you could assert that they look very similar to the robes that the Chthon Church tends to wear. But now you've got this guy basically as just a blank slate to just give away whatever information you want, right? So, and he's probably like whispering a prayer to himself right now because he's so freaked out, and he blurts the words Chthon at some point or other.
Okay, so we'll call it blatantly obvious that there's a Chthon tie in.
At this point, like,
Because I was going to say, who do you work for? Okay, it's Chthon. All right.
and he probably, but he probably like ignores the question, and he's just kind of like praying, like, "Let your faith shield you, for it is the Chthon has salt upon a festering wound," and blah blah blah. I'm reading this off the Grim Dawn wiki, so it's like really accurate.
I was going to say, you could not have thought of that off the top of your head.
Abhor the writing of the heretic, for his texts speak of lies and deceit. The strong of faith will be sung as heroes; the weak shall be forever be forgotten.
Nice.
So he's whispering like just chthonic prayer, chthonic. What's the word I'm looking for? Scripture. As you guys intimidate the shit out of him because he's falling back on his faith in his final minutes.
Idiot.
Okay. So yeah, I think like so it's definitely like, what are you up to and why are you doing it are things that I would want to know. I'm happy to roleplay this in a minute, but I'm just trying to table talk to get a strategy here. What do you guys reckon? What else?
Well, I would probably say something to try and get a bigger picture, as opposed to just what's going on, as what's the ultimate goal. But I would probably assume that a guy that's just checking out a hut for disturbances probably wouldn't know something like that. Just spitballing here, like that would be obviously
yeah,
an
like
aim.
so it's like a foot soldier, and you're trying to ask what's Shredder's plan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just a foot soldier.
Yeah.
I would like to ask. I would like to say, when's the next Chthon meeting? And give me your robes.
There's a lot of questions for a guy whose brain is like effectively fried right now. So
Well,
Sorry.
we have at least one guy's robes. That you
Yes.
shot in there.
And you have another tattered robes.
Yeah,
all their robes are damaged right now, except for this guy's. It'll be
Well-
dirty but undamaged.
How much damage does a revolver do?
Just a small hole.
And there'd be
wouldn't
like tears through it and stuff, but
It's not like a.
No, but actually-
it's not like a.
it? No, it's
Can
a
you show them
revolver.
one?
It's not a scatter shot.
no, but
Yeah.
the guy that shot the gun got consumed by your wasps too. So, he's
Wait. No. So the first guy that
The f-
Jeb killed,
The first guy.
one
that
shot
got
kill.
Jeb shot Jeb shot a guy who never got to act.
Yeah, so
Jeb
his
actually
robes would be fine.
Yeah, his robes. Yeah, I guess they would. They'd have like maybe one tan mark in them somewhere. But
Unless I
otherwise-
shot him in the face.
Look, yeah, maybe. Anyway, that's very
I
detail
guess what
oriented.
I'm saying is on a tabletop level, we already have like one partially not tattered, but like bullet
Look,
hole.
maybe have two robes really. I'll grant you 2 out of 3 robes for the party.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. I like where the strategy's going with that. I would also say
But you
like
don't
to
need
see-
to intimidate him for that. So.
No. But I guess what you're saying is like that the intimidation grants us some knowledge from him, right? So I guess what we want to know is like why is the hut protected? I mean, I'm just trying to think right here and now. We're here to explore this hut. Like why are you putting magic on this hut?
If I could give you my 2 cents, I mean, you're all but able to now enter the hut and find out exactly for yourselves. So you don't really need to ask this guy specifically for that information, but you could probe him about, maybe like more what Gerard was getting at in terms of why are you here? But then they're kind of interlinked things, not to give too much away right now, but they're kind of 2 sides of the same coin.
Okay, just for my something else as well, just a slight side note, I guess you could say. In hitting the hut with the rock and initially setting off this alarm, has that now broken the ward spell so we can enter freely?
Yeah, exactly.
Just to make sure.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
But I assume once these guys don't come back from checking it out, or at least only 1 out of 3, we would
They'll
have
figure it
limited
out
time.
eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
So, are we ready to zoom back in, or any other questions?
I think Jebediah, you're in that intimidator seat, so I think you've heard what we're all feeling. I think totally trust you to make a call on how you want to play this next spot.
All right.
Zoom in back in.
You know, give him a little bit of a demon face. His nightmare shit. So what are we asking? Why is he protecting the hut? Is that what we're interested in?
What do you? I mean, I think we've all sort of shared some views. So I'm happy for you to go with whatever your gut says is the way to go.
I think that's valuable because we might also get a little bit of motivation as well.
Mhm.
Because it's not just a matter of the facts; it's a matter of what's going on up there. So yeah, why
Yeah.
are you protecting the hut? This and that.
All right. So he's still kind of in prayer mode, right? But he says something to the effect of, I do again have notes here, but I'll ad lib a bit. So, blood, my brother, blood is the essence. Chthon, he demands so much blood. We must continue to harvest. He's never satiated. Blood, my brother, we must collect so much. and he keeps rambling on about just the
The sheer amount
liters
of blood.
that they need to satiate Cthon.
All right.
So
And if
then,
that's the,
sorry,
yeah.
go on. No, go on.
I was just going to say, if it's not more obvious enough, they are blood harvesting, and he just keeps talking about it. So
Yeah.
you get a very strong urge that these guys really need like a lot of blood.
All right, thanks for making that super clear.
Because I'm trying to do it like all like in roleplay and stuff, but I want to make sure that it doesn't obfuscate the actual facts.
Yeah.
You know? It's like,
Awesome. You kicked ass at that.
They're into the blood. All right.
So
Your order.
does
Mom.
that then
They got
mean?
away from me there.
So, okay, I mean, I've got a follow-up question. Anyone, Gerard, did you want to go next?
Well, I was just thinking in terms of trying to link it all together. Does that then mean the barrels aren't necessarily butchered people? They're actually extracted blood, and the lake is a way to transport it to where they need to take it.
There's
are
an
you asking that
interesting-
question?
No, I'm just spitballing with
Oh, okay.
the other guys
With
at the
these two.
moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Not
I mean,
actually
you could
asking
turn-
you, because I would imagine we wouldn't know that just yet.
Well, we know that the someone saw these weird people pushing barrels into the lake.
Mm.
So you could say, why are you pushing barrels into the lake?
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I could
Because
do
it's,
that.
I mean, I didn't even think about that. That's a really interesting point. Like the lake is some interdimensional portal or some shit.
Well, not even that. Not even necessarily that. It could just be the easiest mode of transport from one point to the other without.
It's a Stargate to Cthon. Who's
Or
actually a
maybe there's
Goa
a-
Wold.
A slumbering Cthon in the lake, maybe, I don't know. Or
You
some-
need to stop watching so much
Oh.
Stargate, Jeb.
That'd be pretty sick. We'll have to bring that around later, but yeah.
But yeah, if you want to pursue a line of questioning along that would
Yeah.
make sense.
Yeah.
Alright.
Jeb, considering you've got the intimidation going, do you maybe want to? Oh, I suppose it's my thought, so he can't really, can he?
Yeah. No.
Unless you ask him to ask.
But you know, he can say it. He can ask it. Can't he?
He's intimidated by you as a party, so
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I assume he would be now. Yeah. All right. So yeah, I'd press that sword slightly up against his neck, just enough to draw just a drop of blood, and go, "What's in the barrels? Why the lake?"
once the blood is drained, the vessel serves no purpose. We must dispose of them somehow.
Ooh.
Yes, vessel. Yes.
Okay. I have a follow-up question. So, okay, so Bracho sort of like gets even closer with his little driftwood walking stick, and after he answers Gerard's question, Bracho just like whacks the dude in the knee that's been cut with this piece
So
of wood.
violent.
Jesus.
Cracks him
Man.
one just to make it hurt, and he says, "Why did you kill my village?"
Oh, dang! I didn't even think about that.
So does that then mean Bracho has recognized him, or it's a hunch? Just
He's
like
it's a
recognizing
hunch,
robes
I
or
think.
something?
I think it's a hunch. He doesn't know for sure, right? But
Okay.
he's like the whole story here is Bracho sniffing out the doom, and maybe I didn't ever make it really clear earlier on, but yeah,
Yep.
he's looking for the murderers of his
Yep.
people.
I feel like you need to roll something kind of like luck based almost, just to see whether this guy might know explicitly what
How do
you're
you
on
roll? How do you roll luck in Savage Worlds?
about. There isn't really one.
Savagely.
What
And
would
he's
determine?
specifically
Gambling?
What would my score of luck be? Like if I, it's not agility, smart, spirit, strength, or vigor. It's not an attribute. Would it be derived from one of those things? Like,
what I'm trying to decide, but like I feel like we need to like what are the odds of this guy knowing about your village? Like
one of the
probably
things you
not
could do
good.
is you could roll a D100, which is a percentile, right? So like
Yeah.
if you say there's a 10% chance, roll a D100 and see what happens. I don't know. Up to you.
But why would we not roll gamble?
Because it's not a
That's like
not
the
like
skill
a
of gambling.
game. Yeah, it's a skill. I probably wouldn't use a skill here. It's more like,
Well, like-
he's going out on a limb here, trying to find out. This is the first time he's got a cultist in a position of like giving information. So Bradshaw like,
Yeah.
why did you kill my village?
I'm gonna roll /D10, and like on an 8 or better, you may get some good information.
Okay.
I mean, let's 7 or better. Let's make it a bit more fair.
This guy.
Oh, holy
Oh shit!
All right. You don't have to tell. Like, you don't have to like have all of the answers. But I mean, he's Bradshaw. Okay, I'll just tell you what. Bradshaw's thinking. All right. So these Chthon are harvesting blood, right?
Yeah.
But why would they wipe out an entire village when, like, in his mind, he's thinking, well, they're just picking random people in this town. Like, why didn't the Chthon just come in and just start murdering everyone? Like, why my village? Why? What was so special about my village that you had to kill everyone while I was, getting high somewhere else?
Well, it's something like he probably has a moment of clarity. Like you ask him this question, and he turns to you, and he actually kind of almost double takes because he probably recognizes you or someone like you, right?
Oh well, the way I look, the way I am, is very culturally. It's my cultural
Specific,
identity,
yeah.
right? You would be able to look at me and go, "Oh, you're." If you knew what shamans from the Northwood Forest look like, you'd be like, "Oh, this is one of them."
And that's what he recognizes you for, right? So he'll probably spill words to the effect of, "You, from the Northlands, yes, we did harvest that place clean, so much blood." So you get a response to the effect of, just. You had bodies out there, and they were there also, and bodies have blood, so why the shit not? Is basically what
So
his
essentially, your
ramblings
entire
indicate.
village was shit out of luck.
So, if he's validated now that Chthon are behind the genocide.
Yeah, you get a very strong indication of that.
Okay, so he's starting to get really angry. He's vengeful, right?
You're triggered, bro.
He's going to put his driftwood through his eye.
Nice. Roll for fighting. I'm just joking. So, all right, yeah. So that's it. I mean, he just kind of keels back, just tumbles over, and you probably hit him so hard out of your fury that the wood, the piece of wood, just stays upright after you let it go, and he's just a mess pinned to the floor with this thing just sticking upright. He probably mumbles the last couple of incoherent whatever, something about Chthon, and he's gone. He's totally 100% dead.
Jesus. Feeble old man, my ass.
And so Bradshaw does this move and slams this piece of driftwood into his eye, and he's just like and stumbles back a bit, and he's very emotional and sort of sits squats sits under the sand and reaches into his robes and pulls out his little herbal medicinal
Nice
thing and just lights it up and just
and as you've effectively thrown this guy to the floor, you hear this little chink of a chain around his neck, and that kind of flops out from underneath his armor, or a piece of garment, and it's the key to the front door, ostensibly. It's just kind of jangling around his neck there, for you to nab off him and then actually open this thing up if you wish. So
can I
have a
table talk for a second?
Yes.
I don't know how this works from a GM game perspective, but my hindrance is vengeful.
Uh-huh.
Okay, good. My hindrance is vengeful. So the reason why he just straight out murdered it once he had this validation that it was his fault.
You get a Benny. That's what you get.
Okay.
But do you have further questions? Sorry, that was just
No, well, that's what I'm kind of... But I've got a max Benny of 3, and I've got current 3.
You can have 4 out of 3. You can have extra bennies. That's fine. You start every session with 3 bennies, so you can have that extra one at your disposal.
Okay. I get what you mean. Max is like a replenish.
Yeah, exactly right. Not that you guys have needed them because you've not taken any damage or anything, but yeah.
So that's
cool.
how that works. If you hit the hindrance, you earn a Benny.
yeah, if you like role play to your hindrance and it has negative effects, or like you're really focusing on your role play, yeah, you can have more bennies thrown your way. Thank you for reminding me.
So just as an aside, how does that work for one leg? Because it's sort of not some. I mean, it's always there, you know.
Yeah, it's one I don't really know how to get around just yet, but we'll think of something. But if you like have a really funny moment with it or something, you know, or you fall behind the party trying to run up, like to do an Indiana Jones door slide or something.
The rules say, and I quote, "You should also hand out bennies for great role playing, particularly as it concerns their hindrances." So, if you leverage your hindrance in great role playing, is what it sort of says.
It's kind of like our fate aspects.
Like GM can also, GM can also hand out bennies anytime a player does something particularly clever, finds an important clue, or generally advances the plot.
Yeah, awesome. But TBH, since the way this has gone so far, you haven't even really needed to call upon your bennies in the first place. But I'll try to keep that more top of mind as we keep moving forward.
No, that's cool. I mean, we're learning. Okay, cool.
All right, so
Right
Jeb would like to search the bodies, not the one that's just been moidled, but particularly the guy that I shot, potentially in the face.
Yep. Okay. Let me check what that guy had on him. So he's got his robe is more or less intact. If you want to take that. He also had a dagger on his belt, so you can has that if you wish, and that's basically all he had.
Okay.
He was actually their spellcaster, so besides that, he didn't really have anything of much worth on him. So
can I just add to my gear cultist robes, cultist dagger?
Yeah, and just put next to the dagger strength plus D4 if you ever need to attack with it. So
cool.
Yep. And yeah, the guy that Bracho just assassinated had the key to the front door on him, so you can most certainly nab that.
Did he have anything else? Because Gerard would definitely.
I was going to say, if Jeb's gone over to inspect the dude that he shot, then Gerard would probably grab the key. Is that right?
Yeah, well, I grabbed the key from this dude, and he's probably checked to see what else he had. I mean, you mentioned he had a short sword.
Yeah, obviously the short sword that he dropped when you
so
defeated him.
I would
just lying on the beach.
Probably take that.
Yeah, and probably tucked in a belt or something like that is a little book, you know, like maybe A5 size, and it's a little like Chthonic verse book or something like that.
I think.
Can I grab that?
Yeah, Brash, I can take that.
It's yours.
Awesome.
And that's just like a prayer book that they would use at their sermons or whatever. There's nothing particularly.
No, that's all right. It's narrative flavor. So
totally.
That's cool.
That's the things.
What's that short sword stat? Do you know?
Yeah, strength plus D6.
Plus D6. That is now in my arsenal.
Right on.
I'm gonna dual wield, bro.
Well, one of my edges is ambidextrous.
You could actually do cool things.
Anyway. I can actually do that. But anyways.
So, we're getting towards the end of the session. But, I mean, we can press on for a little longer. I'm happy to keep going if you all are.
Check the hut.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Can we crack? I'm happy to play on for another little
crack
bit
the hut
longer.
a bit at least.
We got to crack open the hut and see what happens.
Do it. So,
okay, well, I've grabbed the key.
Awesome.
So after a few minutes, Bracho collects himself and he doesn't have a walking stick anymore, but that's cool. He sort of like hobbles his way over towards the hut and spits on the dead guy as he goes past.
He doesn't try to take the wood thing out, the branch out, or just leaves it?
He's done with that.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. Well, having picked up the key, I suppose Gerard would go up to the padlock. He would be hesitant at first, just to make sure nothing was going to pop out at him, or he might
roll D6. No, don't.
He might cast a sideways glance at Jeb to see if he sort of gives the all clear. Whether or not he can, I don't know. From a distance,
you can give your okay. Jeb. You have no concerns.
All right. In that case, put the key in the lock and turn it. Does it unlock?
Go ting-a-ling-a-loo.
Yeah, so I mean, you get almost a little, you get that why won't this work paranoia just for a split second because the lock's kind of rusted out and you know sea salt or was like messing with it. But you jiggle it a few times and it cracks open, and then the doors almost by themselves sort of start to loosen because it's not a very well built shack, and the doors swing out past you, and then the light can sort of flood in. It's still really quite dark in there because there's only one other window. Yeah, you know, got this really gross, dank, cellar-looking hut in front of you. Like I said, it's not very big. There's, you know, a couple rafters going across the top. They're all like they're starting to rot out a little bit. It's pretty bare. Besides that, I mean, there's wooden floors, but they're all just you know, getting eaten out, all destroyed by the weather and, you know, just years of use. There are other barrels stacked in like the corners of the hut, just sort of scattered around the place. And then kind of, I suppose almost dead center, we would kind of maybe pan out from your guys' view over to the other side of the shack. And dangling from the rafters towards the center of the room is a human body of some sort chained to the rafter, just kind of dangling there. Ostensibly probably dead or very close to it, from what you can tell here, and a barrel is carefully placed underneath this. Well, it's actually naked body just dangling from the roof, and that's it. That's all you see. It's a very small hut.
So it's clearly their bleeding location.
It would seem that way. Yes.
Is it a male or a female?
You can go closer and have a look. The kind of the top half of them's kind of obscured by shadow from the door's entrance, but you can certainly walk further in.
Yeah, well, that would probably be the first thing Gerard would check. After making sure it was safe, he'd go up to see if they were completely dead or still alive or what. Yep.
Yeah, so as you walk closer up, it's fairly obviously a male body, just with like cuts. Like the major arteries have been nicked, so the carotid and the femoral in the leg. There's obvious gash marks there.
With his artery knowledge, please.
Yeah, man. So they've picked their spots very carefully. Otherwise, the body's not really too messed up, other than like some bruises and shit. But they're pretty mangled, and based on what you can see, they are long past dead.
Okay. Would being from Darkvale, would Gerard immediately recognize the town drunk if he's recognizable at this point?
Roll notice for me.
Oh, let me produce.
Would he get a bonus because he's like totally a Darkvale local?
Sure. What is your notice? Have you got notice trained?
Yes, I do. It's a D6.
Oh, that's boring. Sure, just roll it. Look, you're probably right. Roll a +2.
Roll
plus two.
That's like that. Pluses normally go in like usually go in iterations of 2.
Okay. +2 it is.
Look, you can still fail.
Got a 5.
Boo! Yes, you only just passed, man. That was very close. Yes, it's the town drunk.
So can I look at him and go, Cletus?
Cletus.
Can we? Does that have to be law? All right, sure. Yes, it's Cletus.
Oh, Cletus, get off the dang roof.
Some folk will never lose a toe, but then again, some folk will.
Oh my gosh. So yes, you found the town drunk,
Okay.
bled dry, hanging from a hut roof.
Okay. Well, at this point, Gerard would turn around to Bracho and Jebediah and go, thoughts?
That's it. That's a dead guy.
Yeah.
Classic case. Of...
Just to start spitballing ideas, because obviously we know now what they're doing here and
Okay,
sort of
so,
why they're doing it.
So Bracho is heated and angry, right? He's emotional. He's driven, and he says, "Let's." What's his voice?
Old man something accent.
That's the thing. Let's drag this body back into town with the Chthon cultist on top of it.
Look. Hang on. Wait. Maybe I missed something. But did we establish whether he's dead or just close to death?
No,
He's
he's
dead.
dead.
He's very
Yes,
dead.
we established
Dead?
he's very dead.
Okay.
All his
alright,
major arteries have been cut wide open, so he wouldn't
Well,
have lived
look,
long.
before Bradshaw gets his old, filthy, dreaded hands on his body, Jeb would like to saunter on in there and grab a small vials worth of blood sample.
From the
Creepy.
barrel.
Or from whatever is left dripping from the corpse.
Bradshaw says, "What the hell are you doing?"
Keep it fresh, baby.
Did
Bradshaw-
you happen
Bradshaw is
to...
actually upset that you're doing this thing that the Chthon people do.
As is Gerard.
Listen.
Because of the creepiness, like, you probably don't have vials, like, in a strict mechanical sense, but sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you can have a little, like, scoop of it.
He's an occultist. He's got like
Probably
vials
not.
of shit all over him.
And as you get closer, you see the barrel actually just looks like your bog standard, like, grog barrel or something like that. But they look to have lined it with, like, some kind of, like, a resin, or some sort of water. Yeah, but not in like medieval times. So some kind of waterproof resin or some such. So the barrel looks like a normal barrel, but it actually can just hold liquid and do a good job. Oh god.
Don't even get me started, Tentacle Man.
And yeah, okay, sure. I don't know what you're gonna do with it, but you have a vial of drunk blood.
Well, like Bradshaw is visibly angry. What are you doing with the blood?
Party conflict. Yes.
Look. I don't feel like doing the Southern voice right now. I'm sorry. You've got to think long term. If we're trying to deal with these guys and infiltrate their organization or whatnot, you never know. Doesn't have to be prepared.
What
Mate, look, hey,
what's a vial gonna
What-
do?
what if they got some sort of weird password thing? What if there's secret weird sex orgy rituals? You get to the front door of the castle, and instead of uttering Fidelio at the door, it's like, hey, give us some blood.
All right,
Yeah.
so you talk Bradshaw around, and Bradshaw
Tenuous.
just sort of like waves an old man hand at you, like whatever, man.
Oh, is that an old man jazz hand?
Old man hand just like, ugh.
Lord.
He's not happy, but he gets your point.
Yeah, he knows.
Gerard is not convinced, but he lets it go because Bradshaw has, and Gerard has no real knowledge of the arcane arts. So
So Bradshaw then says, "Fine, take the blood. We should drag this Cletus back to town with the wasp-eaten corpse on top of it to tell the captain exactly what happened.
Oh yeah,
Here's the
because
proof.
That's all right. Because
Here's the
that's
proof
not
in the
weird.
pudding. The Chthona fuckwits."
But do we need to drag them and put them on show? Because that would just freak... This is Gerard talking. Because that would just freak out the masses. That's the wrong approach.
The Chthon are the wrong approach.
What is happening here?
Basically, Bradshaw wants to prove that the Chthon are bad people and break this thing wide open. And because he's emotional, right? He's just
Yeah. He's
linked
really
it all.
mad right now, so he may not be thinking rationally per se. But he's making a strong case. I mean, you guys also have the Chthonic prayer book. It's not a far walk to come see what's happened either, so the more rational amongst you may think differently.
While
Sorry,
Gerard
man.
certainly does.
I'm with Gerard on this one. How about we stay here with the corpses? You run along back to town. Get that military fellow, that military type.
When did Jebediah become Midwestern?
He did. He was always.
Oh, he was. Yeah, okay.
Last episode, about halfway through.
Yeah, that's right. He
episode.
decided late. That's right. Yeah, okay. I don't know if he'd be able to come out right now. We may need to take them to him, but I don't want to put a show on it. And I also don't want to leave
We're just
Jebediah
gonna
alone with it.
roll some barrels back into town. He's like Bracho says, like flippantly, as if it's a stupid idea. Gerard's face, priceless.
It may be the best way to go, as unceremonious as it may seem. Look, Gerard doesn't like magic and things like that. In fact, one of his hindrances is doubting Thomas, which I don't remember the specifics, but it's definitely magic based. He doesn't recognize it overly well.
So, do you just straight not believe in magic?
Okay, I'll read it out. Some people don't believe in the supernatural until they're halfway down some creature's gullet. Doubting Thomases are skeptics who try their best to rationalize all supernatural events.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, just out of interest, what do
They
you
suffer.
think?
They suffer -2 to their fear checks when confronted with undeniable supernatural horror.
Okay. So, just out of interest, what do
Dude,
you
it could have
think?
messed you up so hard with Jeb's fear roll.
Yeah, what do you think Bracho and Jeb did to those guys?
Well, mechanically it has no effect, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got
So, I would say he would try to rationalize the wasps.
Just unlucky twice.
Maybe he thinks he's a beekeeper underneath all
Okay,
that.
maybe Bracho threw honey at him or something.
Exactly.
No. Bee sex pheromones or something.
Yeah. Of course,
And
'cause
you-
you just carry that around.
you
And
gotta
I'm the
remember
weirdo
as-
for taking blood. Okay.
You got to remember as well, while that was all happening, he was fighting in hand-to-hand
Okay.
combat.
That's fair enough.
So he
yeah.
wouldn't necessarily have seen exactly what happened. So he'd just chalk
Yeah.
it up to these guys did what they had to. So
Cool.
it happened.
Yeah.
But it could be a problem later on.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking
So-
forward to it.
what's the party going to decide here? Do you feel as though you have to drag corpses into town
Well,
to prove this, or
Again, as hating the Chthon and not really believing in the whole magic thing, he'd be more than happy to display the Chthonic guy, perhaps, to try and get the town on his side. But in terms of Cletus, he probably wouldn't want to show a body completely drained of blood to
Fine. Let's drag the cultist corpses back in then.
all of them?
Yeah.
So I guess I'm doing a lot of heavy lifting at
Look,
this point.
All right, look,
sure?
look. I just had to think about it, and Jeb is going to be against this idea. Just straight across the board.
Because you're
I'm
one of
sorry.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm so
aside
sorry.
from the fact that it's the concept of exposing, cultists. It doesn't matter who they belong to, because the people aren't going to see. Oh, okay, it's Chthonics. The other cultists are all right. They're going to say, fucking cultists, the occult, burn everyone.
Yeah,
They're all
yeah.
witches, right?
Well-
So for self-preservation reasons, I can't be involved.
Yeah,
All right.
that's fair enough. But Gerard wouldn't
All right.
recognize that because, again, he's not a fan of magic.
Can I ask the Grim Master a question?
Please do.
Do these guys have any chthonic jewelry?
Well, you've already got the book from one of them.
But you can get the book from anywhere. But do
Yeah.
these guys have jewelry?
From
I
the
would
local
imagine the
chthonic
jewelry is
store.
harder to come by than the book.
Yeah, they could do. I mean, they've got something identifiable. Like there's only one subset of human that wears these robes around town as well. So that's a bit of a giveaway. But also the beach, the lake's not that far. So if you want to bring someone here to say, look what happened, I mean, the evidence is right there in front of them as well. So they've got identifiable items as
Right.
like
So-
circumstantial evidence, and then
So
you
we could try and take something back, and if Captain doesn't believe us, then we can take him back to the hut.
yeah,
but
totally.
I'd also say maybe we need to stash the bodies inside the hut, and then lock it up again.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
We could
I
always
would agree with that.
cut one of their heads off.
I was thinking that, like a hand or a head or something. But we should get the guy that I stabbed in the eye. That would be awesome.
We should just take the driftwood out and his eye comes out with the driftwood or something.
And half of his brain.
Okay, so Is that the plan?
No, we haven't decided yet. We're still table talking. Are you saying that we need to decide? There's
Well-
You hear hoofs of coming up the driveway.
80
What do you do?
chthonics emerge from the lake.
Chanting in unison.
All right. I think maybe I'm happy to have a decision made between sessions and come back to it with a decision.
You want a cliffhanger here?
Yeah, I think that's probably ideal because we could back and forth this for quite a while.
I think it's a good exercise in maybe some chat on our Discord server. Hint, hint. Nudge, nudge.
Click it.
There are links around. If you're watching, you can jump on the Discord server and be a part of these chats and whatever. Have
That's
fun.
true. We welcome spitballing.
Yeah. Cool. I reckon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's like I think maybe end of the episode is kind of like everyone's sort of arguing about what to do, and that some really grim cello and violin, starts to fade in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, that's a good place to end it because you've pretty much beat the first quest. So like that will lead us in really nicely to picking up some new stuff at the start of the next session. Yeah, right on. I like it.
Cool.
Yeah, so we just like maybe slow pan out with you guys on the beach. Maybe it's like at a moment of calm. You've had your discussion, but it's getting heated, so you like just disperse around the area.
Bracho goes out to like drag the guy he murdered in the eye with like by his leg or something like back into the what?
Nice.
Murdered in the eye.
Murdered
but
in the eye.
he'll be trying to like just drag him back into the hut. I guess that pan out is like the cleanup moment.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, and it's just like crane zoom out over you guys as that happens. And then maybe like a finishing panel, just like how Darkvale still like really just its normal,
Mostly calm.
somewhat chaotic self, but yeah, they're just getting on with business.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Do we get any like any flashes of any other NPCs that we haven't met yet?
no,
Any
'cause I'm
teasers?
giving away too many spoilers.
Do it, Frank.
Just
You
like
don't
you
have
just.
to. You don't have to. You don't
You
have
probably like we could have a scene of like more chthonics like just chilling in the church, or maybe they're like a bit panicked and worried and like bustling around. Maybe they're like hastily packing up.
Look,
Something
I
like
just
that,
I just want to plant this in your minds here. Somewhere in a Chthonic church, there's a distraught young woman whispering to herself, "Where's George? He's meant to be back by now. I'm so worried about him."
I totally have a quest planned for that.
All right.
Yeah. So
But
that's interesting.
just- I hope
The
you
three
help
cultists that are dead are going to be missed by someone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we haven't got that far yet, but yeah, absolutely. I mean, maybe between now and next session, someone's going to figure it out. So, yeah, some interesting stuff going on.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
Scene, fade to black,
Woo.
credits roll.
Good work, Grim Master. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you guys for.
It's very nice.
That was some good banter. Appreciate you guys helping me move the story along. That was really, really good. Experience is super easy in this game because you guys did stuff. You all get 2 experience points, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it doesn't sound like a lot. But 3 experience points is for like when you defeat a major story arc. So 2 near the top of your character sheets, you got an XP slot. Just pop 2 in there. And look, to put it in perspective, you only need to reach 20 experience points, I think, to reach seasoned, which is like the next rank. And once you reach 5 XP, you get more like stats and spells and shit. So the experience scaling on the whole works with much smaller numbers. But
Cool.
so 2 experience points. You did good things.
Cool.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, that one. I think that went all right. That was fun.
Yeah, dog. That was good.
Sick. I'm sure we'll post-mortem. I mean, I meant to do so between sessions anyway. So maybe we'll get a table talk video out sometime discussing how the process of a new BGM is evolving. That'll be really good to do sometime.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, I guess we're going to see everyone again next week for Nova Terra.
Yep. Back to Space Master.
Disperse,
Yeah.
Master.
Disperse
Space Master.
Hello.
Hello.
Bit of cross promotion, huh?
Yeah.
So
Also,
next,
I have a physical plan for next week with that character.
Uh-oh.
A physical plan.
A physical plan. You will see my plan as soon as we go live.
Whoa. Now you've got me intrigued.
He's gonna cosplay it. You watch.
Probably.
Awesome. And for anyone who's watching, there's a couple of viewers on the stream, so thanks for coming along and checking us out. Next Thursday, like a week from today, we will be playing our Sci-fi Stars Without Number campaign. It will be the final episode in season 1, so I'll make sure everyone knows that. That's pretty exciting. So we're going to get to that point where it's we're going to sort of have a big reveal. Every episode this season has been a pretty big reveal with something or other, or some large event that sort of shakes the story up. So we'll see what happens. I think we're going to hopefully reach that point at next Stars Without Number. So hit that follow button on the Twitch, and
I think it's up there somewhere.
Yeah.
And you'll get a ping when we want to when we go to kick off next week around 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on Thursday. And just for anyone else watching, we're also thinking about a third game that might come into the mix as well, having some conversations with some friends on Twitter. Shout out to a lot of different people on Twitter. You guys are awesome. If you want to, I'm having chats with people on Twitter during the week, sharing some cool role-playing links, and if you're into getting into some cool resources for planning your, prepping your sessions and whatnot, there's lots of cool stuff floating around in Twitterverse. So come along, say hi at Roll for Perception. You'll find links everywhere. Awesome. That's probably all the housekeeping I have.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, just in the meantime, if you want to talk about this campaign, hashtag R4PGD, tweet at Roll for Perception down below. We'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback and suggestions. We are still fairly newbie/scrub/amateur at this. So if you have any advice, any feedback, any thoughts where the story might go, we'd love to hear it. Discord's a great place for that too. Otherwise, make sure to follow, and we'll catch you all next week. And YouTube, if you made it this far and watched through the whole thing, you're a champ. Sorry if your tweet didn't appear, but
but yeah, jump on that sub, or hit like, or post a comment if you're on YouTube as well, and reach out, because we love to have a chat.
Yeah, man. That's about it, I guess, gentlemen.
Agreed.
Steve, get ready to press that off button.
I'm very ready.
All right.
Do it.
Everybody, catch you next week. Have a great evening.
See you later, everyone.